Hey, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? My name is Graham Elwood. Hello, Emberg. Hope I saw your tweets and Venmo chats. I've seen some of them, but not all of them, dude. I've just been getting a lot of information sent to me. But welcome, everybody. Share this on your social media. Hello. I'm going to put this on my social media. On the Twitters. Boom. All right. All right. Hello, Alien Effects, A Waterfall, Blaze Server, Truth to Tweet, Keith M, Morgan McCarthy, Chin Chu Churi. We're all really poor now. I get it, man. Shave your knuckles for justice. No worries. I say this, I was saying this before the pandemic, and I'm really saying it now. If you can't support me financially, it's okay. I totally get it. Like literally, I've only gotten $1,200 and $1,000 from the SBA. I still haven't got my unemployment. They're telling me I qualify. They've shown me. I go to the California website and it says, "Oh, you've got this much coming, and we'll be sending you a." So I'm supposed to get that in the next week or two, the card in the mail. But so I totally get it. And there's a lot of great free ways to support the show, everybody. Right now, just put this out on your social media that I'm live. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification button. Hit the like button. All that stuff helps. And there's so many great ways to support the show. And if you can throw in a couple bucks, great. If you can't, no sweat. I totally get it. We're all. It's money's tight. All the stores by me are closed because there was civil unrest, and the grocery stores are boarded up. And there's a curfew, so like I had ramen noodles for dinner. So yeah, that's where we're at. Andre Torres, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. I can support you, brother. Shave them right on. I appreciate that. I appreciate all your support. Yeah, look what's going on in DC. It's nuts. Emberg33, there's a U.S. interim government Twitter now asking for intervention. Thoughts? Holy shit. Well, we're going to bring Ron Placone on here in a sec, folks, to talk about all this. Things are getting worse, man, in this country. These psychopaths aren't afraid of us. We literally have martial law now. Yeah. Trump and company made trillions available to governors if they declared emergency, and then Section 406, essentially martial law in the state. Oh, shit. Ammon Bundy? All right. If there's any sort of article on that, that'd be awesome. Keep it real. Shave your knuckles for justice. Let me get this set up, and then we'll bring Ron Placone on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you joining us from the Jimmy Dore Show. I know he just wrapped up. So welcome to the show. If you're new to this live stream, please hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel. I drop like 12 to 15 videos a week. I haven't dropped that many in the last 2 days just because it's been so nuts. I have all these clips I got to do, but there's literally like military people less than a mile from my house. So it's just a little stressful. I'm going to talk about that in a sec. But yeah. So 150 watching, 49 likes. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Hello. I've talked about David Pakman on Rogan. I didn't watch it because Pakman, I don't, I mean, good for him, but he just seems like a guy that wants to be, he just wants to be on MSNBC. That's what it just seems like to me. He's just like trying to get a job on MSNBC. So, yeah. Okay, let me set this up real quick to get Ron Placone on the phone. We're bringing Ronnie Ron. I just wanted to I wanted to have a co-host today, and I love talking to Ron. So there it is. So I just wanted to bring him on because it's just feeling really feeling a little isolated from all this stuff, and these protests and shit really trigger my PTSD, and it makes me uncomfortable. So, all right. How do we delete this? Delete that. All right, we'll wait for Ron Placone to show up here in a sec, everybody. Please hit the like button. Welcome. It is, what is today? Tuesday? Yeah, let's talk of the days. It's Tuesday, June 2nd. So, yeah. All right, everybody. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh God, we're back to this small window nonsense again. Okay, we're getting small windowed by OBS again. I don't know why. I thought I dealt with this. It's driving me a little nutty. The OBS is just being a psycho lately. Yo, everybody, that is the sweet sounds of Ron Placone. Ron, give me a second here, working through some technical issues at the good OBS. OBS gets a little nutty. OBS gets a little weird.
Maybe you should switch to StreamYard, man.
Maybe you should switch to StreamYard.
Yeah. I did.
If I do switch to StreamYard, is that going to like be a whole cascade of new things I need to set up, tweaks and settings and all that stuff?
In my experience, it is, and you know, I do a different setup than you, but it is infinitely easier than OBS.
Okay.
It's because you have hotkeys for so many things, and you have like different setups where you can have a split screen, and yeah. Anyway.
I think Ron just called me hot, if that's what I heard.
That's pretty much the summary, yeah.
Well, I'm probably at some point going to have to turn my camera off because it takes up too much of my CPU, Ron. So you're gonna just be able to hear me. But let's welcome Ron Placone, everybody, from Get Your News On with Ron. Dude, did you get a haircut?
No, I just I was at the protest in Pasadena, so I have a little bit of like hat hair combined with putting my headphones on. So, but it kind of pushed it down a little. So I was like, all right, that works.
I don't know why. It's not like I texted you 5 minutes ago and said, hey, you want to come on my live stream with no planning. I just said, Ron, let's go. And you were like,
Yeah, it's like, all right. I mean, I just got home, so.
I was like, oh, I thought to myself, well, Ron might have plans. And I was like, no, probably not. Unless him and Caitlin just are walking around the block or.
Well, technically, I mean, we had our window of opportunity. We did it when we could. Right. It's martial law time now.
It is It is martial law. It is martial law time. Let me read a couple of super chats. Keep it real. Thank you so much. Nazar G, shave your knuckles for justice. Stay strong, brother. I really appreciate that, everybody. Yeah, this is. I just need to talk about this up top because it's so on my mind. I've talked about this a little bit. So some stuff from my childhood, but I got PTSD from going to Afghanistan. The first couple of times we came under fire, and I didn't do anything about it because I sort of felt like, well, I'm not a combat vet. They really have it. I'm just a little jittery from whatever. And so, and that kind of came to a head probably in 2011 or 12, and I started going to a therapist that specializes in that. It was very helpful, and so I was on a helicopter that came under fire, and we had rocket attacks, and it really rattled me, a lot. And being in a war zone, you feel very powerless. And I think coming up in child abuse, there's a powerlessness to that. So it's like anyone trying to hurt me makes me like freak out. And I remember the first 2006 was the second time I went to Afghanistan, and we had some really gnarly. This is where the firefight happened. I was with Shema Tosh. And we were on this helicopter, and we saw the surgery of these kids getting worked on. It's why I'm so anti-war. And it's really, and then I remember that was the summer I started surfing, and I remember surfing with a very good friend of mine down near San Onofre, it's near Camp Pendleton, which is a Marine Corps base. And we were on our surfboards, and I literally was like, no pun intended, I immersed myself into surfing that whole summer and really just fell in love with it. And we were sitting on our surfboards, and one of those military helicopters, have that, they're a lot deeper than like a traffic helicopter or a news helicopter. And I remember sitting on my surfboard, and I just started crying at the sound of helicopters. And for years, we'd be surfing because on the coast there's Coast Guard and there's military going up and back every once in a while, but it'll just be like a Black Hawk helicopter or something. But anyway, and I would hear the helicopters a minute, like radar for MASH, a good minute before any of my friends did. And we'd be sitting on our surfboards talking, and I would just stop, and I would look, and I would have to see wherever the helicopter was. I just had this thing, I had to know where it was. And I remember one time with the woman I was dating, we were sitting on the couch watching, and a news thing came up from Afghanistan, and her head was on my chest, and she felt my heart rate and all this stuff. So I did all this work, and I probably noticed about 3, maybe 4 years ago that I stopped like noticing helicopters. I kind of got past that and loud noises. And when you have PTSD, when there's any sort of physical threat, your body ramps up and takes even a small threat and treats it like, somebody's coming at you with a knife, or there's like a fucking tiger or some shit, or there's someone with a gun. And so with all this work with the therapist, I learned how to like breathe and get through that and go, okay, this is just a guy honked loud. It's okay. Or just something loud smashed. Like loud noises still kind of make me jumpy. And, I was worried watching the protests during the week. I was like, God, they're going to start getting violent. And the cops, of course, show up and are violent. And we'll talk about this in a second, Ron, because you've experienced this. And Fiorella, I've had on the show, experienced this. And so I went to the protest in Santa Monica and seeing the cops, and then showing up in automatic weapons and riot gear. And that video that I posted, and I'll even show it for everybody tonight, people are kneeling, saying, kneel with us, kneel with us. And one person threw like a bottle of water, boom, and the cops flip out, and they call in, and then the squad car comes rolling in. And this is on my Instagram page, and I've showed it on this show too. This cop squeals up, get the fuck out of the way, and almost like runs me and some other people over. A bunch of cop motorcycles come flying in. And then, and I just got this public safety alert, just declaring, look at that. Oh, I just get this buzz. And this kind of shit is happening on all of our phones all the time.
Yeah. 5 p.m., 6 p.m.
And then somebody.
I mean, well, they never move it forward. They always move it back.
They always move it back.
It'll start at 6, and then it'll be 5.
Oh, that's 1 p.m. Then it's 2 p.m. Then so like, and then Sunday night, I got done with my live stream with Fiorella, and then I called Ron and was like, dude, they're still protesting and shit outside of my front door. I don't know if we're gonna do this live show at 7. And Ron and I was like, I don't know, because if the rioting and shit gets worse, they were sealing off Santa Monica, buildings were smashed, there was fire trucks, there's helicopters all over the place. And I said, I'm just gonna go on a bike ride and see if it's calmed down a little bit, because I don't want to be doing a comedy show if there's like shit going down. And I drove around, it kind of calmed down, and there's this video, and I have to watch it, but I actually found it, where I'm just seeing a reporter in front of a smashed a business that got looted. And I'm from Santa Monica, I live here. It breaks my heart that businesses got looted, but as I said on the show, I get it. I understand the frustration, and the looting is actually not separate from the Black Lives Matter protest in terms of like, it's part of the overall frustration. And there's this reporter standing in front of it. And so I just pulled out this phone and I just started going, oh, look at this. Look what this, isn't it weird that they only, because I was watching the local news all day and all they kept showing was the looting, the looting, the looting. That's all they kept showing. And they talk about the looting like it's the worst thing that's ever happened. Like it's somehow worse than unarmed black men getting killed. And I'm like, and how come they don't talk about the police using excessive force? How come the local media doesn't talk about the looting that Wall Street did? And as I'm doing that, this shorter guy, is like, gets up in my face. It's shorter, older guy, but not like a small dude, but like, I didn't feel like physically threatened, but he's like yelling in my face. Yeah, you don't know what you're talking, the corporate media, huh? Blah, 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 you know. And then he keeps starting with me. And then so I kind of give some back, like, fuck you, man, get the fuck out of my face. Like, I'll knock you out, dude. And then he's like trying to like kind of walk through me, and I have my bicycle with me, and I'm like, you're not walking through my bike. You're not gonna walk right by me. And then he walks around, picks up one of those bird scooters, and then charges me with it.
Natural second reaction. Like, you don't want me to walk through you, huh? Yeah. I got a treat for you. I got a bird scooter. He
walks 20 feet out of his way, then comes back another 20 feet with a bird scooter that, like, if I let him, he could cave my head in. He could injure, he could kill me. No, he's this like guy that's probably in his late 50s or 60s, out of shape, kind of hobbling with this. So I'm like, what? And then I'm like, hey man, you better back the fuck up. And then he turns back at me again, and I just, boom, I had to like, you know, and then I'm like, fuck, and then he throws it on my bike, and I'm like super amped up. And he's giving me this crazy shit, and he's screaming at me, and I'm like, and then I'm like, my fucking bike, you know, and then like, now a real threat. A guy just tried to cave my head in. And some other guys, and I was starting to get fucking furious, and some guys go, let it go, Graham, let it go. Or they didn't know me. They said, hey dude, let it go, your bike's fine. And I'm like, fuck. And I ride out of there.
They were big fans. They were like, political vigilante, we know you.
Shave your knuckles for justice, bro.
We're going to shave your knuckles when you get home. It's all good. We're going to see you on Zoom in a few minutes. Screw that guy.
It's, and I was like, fuck. And then I'm riding by, they were starting to roll in the National Guard and the Sheriff's Department and armored, you know, military vehicles. The last time I saw these was when I was doing comedy tours in Iraq and Afghanistan and Kuwait. And I can't begin to know what a combat vet with PTSD is going through during this shit. If it's affecting me as a stand-up comic, what is a combat vet going through? What if they're a combat vet who happens to be on a police force? Gee, I wonder what their reaction is. That's why they're just fucking going into lock and load urban combat mode. And then another guy last night, I went to the beach to just chill, and I'm just like calm. I see dolphins. I cry a little bit because this is an emotional time. Some guy comes up, says, hey man, isn't it cool with the dolphins? And we're just like laughing, and it's good and it's positive. And I'm there for like 30, 40 minutes. I'm casually walking back. I had my feet in the sand. I'm holding my bike helmet and my shoes and everything. And I see my bike that I locked that's about 50 yards away. And then there's this like scrawny white kid meth head trying to pull my back tire off my bike, which I've never seen that. I mean, like if you leave a bike outside over the night, that could happen, but I've never seen that. and I have to go and use my big, loud, aggressive voice. So again, I'm ramped up. I'm in defense mode. My PTSD is triggered. And I go over to my bike and I see this kid and I yell something, I could fucking kick your ass, you know? Like, I wanted him to just run the fuck away with his dumb buddies. Like, just get out of here. And I'm fixing...
Did he come back with a bird scooter? was he like, hey, I'm friends with the other guy?
This older guy with an Irish accent. Oh, it was like, what the fuck? And then I'm sitting there trying to put my bike back together, and then this couple walks by, and this guy goes, good luck. And I was like, man, shut the fuck up. Like,
when the Lord's work, that guy.
Oh, boy. We really,
like...
when you had the thought, should I say something? You went, yes, bad. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Those are the worst social interactions ever, where it's just like, do you think this through? Like, did you have to do this? Like we could have just ignored each other in peace, and we all would have been fine.
You felt like, boy, I better say something. No, you don't. Like, and you don't know me. You just saw me yell at this guy that I'm going to whoop his ass. I have a pretty loud voice when I want it to be. And you thought, go up. I see a pit bull barking and foaming at the mouth. So maybe go give it a treat. That's really what you thought you were going to do? Like, and I was just like, you know.
How can I make this guy's time worse?
Yeah, you're having a bad time. I got an idea that'll make it worse. But I'm helping. If I would have like snapped at the guy, I would have gone, what? I'm trying to help, and been an idiot.
Oh, that's the best. When it's like someone's blatantly condescending to you, and then they like try to play it off like they're being sincere. That is like the worst. Like, you're just, and especially like that is, I mean, I hate to say this because like this is, we both live in the Los Angeles area, but that is such a Southern California thing to do.
This bitchy little passive aggressive,
that's the most obnoxious Southern California thing.
It is like this, like I'm more enlightened than you, and it's a dude, and he's with his lady, and I just wanted to go, dude, if you're gonna say something, come up and go, hey man, that sucks, I'm sorry. You know? If you're going to say anything, just say, that sucks.
Or you could have said, like, good luck in a sincere tone.
Yeah.
Like, hey, good luck, man.
Hey, man.
Sorry. You know, yeah.
And if you call him on, he would never go, my bad, I shouldn't have said anything. He would keep, he would keep arguing like a little girl. You know what, I didn't, I was trying to help. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Like.
One time this happened to me in graduate school. I had a big paper due, and I was, running a little bit behind. I was just running a little late. I was a little nervous about the whole, like, the project or whatever. There was no, like, pandemic and martial law going on or anything like that. So it kind of pales in comparison in many ways. But on the, like, condescending stranger topic, I printed out, and I'm, like, kind of rushing. And I was sort of like getting the pages in order and like kind of, so I guess I seemed a little, like a little scattered, right? Like I'm looking at the pages and I'm kind of in my own head or whatever. And this lady just walks by, like, and she's looking at me, like she's walking by me and she's staring at me and she just goes, you lost? And, and it was totally like, oh, I'm gonna like embarrass this guy, basically. Like, it's like, what were you trying to do? So I just looked at her and like I snapped out of it right away, like the worrying about my paper, and I just said, no, I'm not. Are you? And she goes, no. And I was like, okay, good. So we're both doing what we're supposed to do. We can both continue now. And she just goes, wow, that was kind of rude. And I'm like, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. I was like, I'm going this way. I'm going this way.
You were rude. And her version to her friends is going to be, hey, and I just was being funny. No, shut up, dummy. I know she had a dumb face. You don't even have to describe it, but I know her face was dumb.
It was pretty dumb. It was a pretty dumb
face. And she has dumb friends, and she lives a dumb life. And right now, she's doing something that only dumb people do. And she's
you just nailed her LinkedIn profile, actually.
Every morning I wake up and think, how can I be the dumbest person today?
Yeah. How can I annoy somebody on campus?
Yeah.
It's like you can meet a new person every day, and until I've pissed off everybody, I'm just not living.
Yeah. Just the notion, like, maybe I should keep my mouth shut. Never is inside that dumb face.
Yeah, it's like, why did you? I mean, if you genuinely were like concerned, you would have been like, "Hey, did you drop something?" Like, you know,
You need some.
I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. That's different.
I get it, and I would have just been like, you know, I just got this paper due. I'm just making sure the pages are in order, and I'm a little bit behind. I'm a little, you know, and that would have been the end of it. Maybe I would have felt better like talking to someone for a second, but she's, you lost. Like, okay.
I've unloaded on people when they do that, and they go, "That was rude." I go, let's rephrase. Let me back up. I was here minding my own business. You came up and started talking to me with your stupid bullshit. And
well,
now,
and the best part is like I wasn't bothered by her until she accused me of being.
Oh, I know.
Like I honestly saw it as just like, oh, okay, you're you know, you're taking a little like you know, playful jab. I'm gonna do one back. You know, and if she would have laughed, I would have been like, we just kind of like, you know, took the piss out of each other, you know. But she's like, oh, you were rude. I'm like, well, wait a second. I just dished back what you dished to me. Like,
I hate that.
You know, yeah. It's like, I'm a comic, man. If you want to bust chops, we can go there. But, you know, if I return it and you get offended, that's, well, you started this. Like,
yeah. Like, exactly. And no knowledge of the fact, like, I started this. I started talking shit. I fucking hate that thing. They verbally poke you in the chest, and when you verbally smack them in the mouth, they go, woo! Like, don't start shit with me then. Like, don't start shit with me. Like, and I was able to restrain myself. The good luck guy, I didn't get up in his face and yell at him and embarrass him in front of his lady, which I could have done. But I just wanted to put my bike back together and get the fuck out of there, because society's coming undone. So anyway, I'm a little tweaked with the PTSD, and it just puts me on edge. So I want to go to more of the protests because they're peaceful. But if cops come up to me, man, I don't know how I'm going to react with that. Like if somebody starts yelling at me or getting in my face, and so I'm just going to like, I don't know. The Red Cross is asking for volunteers to deliver food to food banks. I've been a Red Cross volunteer for years. I haven't done it in a little while, so I might just do that as a way to help.
Yeah, there you go.
Putting myself into a thing. But anyway, I was just trying to help. I was just helping, Ron.
Yeah, and I didn't yell at her, by the way. Like, it wasn't like my voice was raised. I was just like, no, are you? And she was like, no. And I'm like, all right, cool. We're both where we need to be. And then she's like, that was rude. Like,
right.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, I'm sorry, little pumpkin girl. Did you think it wasn't fair? All right, let me read a couple of Ben Riley. Are you psychic? Because you predicted protests years ago. Yeah. We've all been talking about this. We've all, like, while it's alarming to see up front and to see it in my town, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. First of all, you basically have 400 years of black people getting oppressed and shot, and 400 years. I mean, this is 400, nothing's changed. Rodney King happened 28 years ago. Nothing's changed. And I just had an argument with a neoliberal friend of mine who was like, yeah, but what's kneeling going to do? Like, let's sit down and have a discussion. I go, they've tried all that and none of it works. Then why are they looting? They shouldn't be looting. Like, oh God. Like, you don't get it. You don't get it.
This is a reflection of society hitting its breaking point.
Yes.
This is the system driving society to its breaking point.
Yeah. There's a grocery store by me that got looted, Ron, because people are hungry.
Yeah.
Not because, oh, they're just out there, they're missing the point of the protest. Like, people got to really understand. You think the looting isn't connected? Oh, they're just stealing shoes to get their kicks. Maybe because they have nothing. Maybe because they live in a poor neighborhood and they got nothing. This is it. Capitalism just beats you to death and you don't get to buy new things. That's the only reward you get in capitalism, is you get to buy something, right? So that's taken away. And
when you're seeing the connections,
yeah.
You're seeing how our system is just breaking people. You're seeing how, hey, systemic racism is totally fine as long as you just uphold the ruling class.
Yep.
Long as you keep us happy. Systemic racism, big deal. We don't care. And society has reached its breaking point.
Yeah, and society has reached its breaking point. And the other thing too is, it's like, one of the reasons I was talking to Native American friend of mine who's a fan of the show, who was like, why do you think it took white people so long to like get on board on this big of a scale with black people and people of color getting, you know, brutalized and murdered by the cops? And I said, well, this pandemic, I mean, the whole country's been getting brutalized economically prior to the pandemic, but for the first time, like middle-class white people have had their rights taken away by the government, by the authorities, where Black, brown, Native American communities that's been happening for decades, if not centuries. So this is the first time middle-class white people have been told no. There's cops saying no, put a mask on. You can't do this. You can't, you know, like, and so it's like white people are joining in because they're like, first of all, they're going, finally, we got to do something. Like, I personally feel like as a white man, this is like, I gotta stand up. I gotta do stuff. I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about it on this show. I gotta talk about it on social media. I gotta talk with my white friends, even if we have an argument and I'm like, I'm done. You sound like a Trump supporter, even though you voted for Obama. Like, I don't want to, I'm.
Well, here's a question. I have seen, I mean, when you go through so many of the police killings, I have heard the mental gymnastics for so many. I mean, hey, Michael Brown, well, he attacked the guy, even though there's a bunch of wounds on his body that indicate, you know, he tried to run away too and had his hands up. You know, but according to the cop, he apparently turned into the Incredible Hulk, and the guy had to do something. Tamir Rice, well, they didn't know if it was real or not, and they only had 2 seconds to react. Like, all this mental gymnastics to justify the cop, or not necessarily justify, but to kind of like downplay the cop's behavior, to say that it was an unfortunate happenstance and what have you. How can anyone? I mean, I've yet to see. The only attempt at mental gymnastics I've seen was from CNN,
right,
where they tried to sell that BS that, oh, well, he had these other health conditions that contribute, and that didn't fly long,
right?
Because it's like, how can a guy knelt on this man while he begged for his life
for 8 minutes,
while 3 other cops watched and kept people away.
Yeah.
There were doctors who walked by saying, please stop, you're gonna kill this guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't. Like, how can you even try to do the mental gymnastics for this one?
Oh, I know. And it's like, well, there's some good cops. If you stand there and watch a guy get killed and protect people from stopping it, you're not a good cop.
No, you're not.
You're not a good cop. And if you're on that police department and you get behind the blue wall and defend your brothers, you're not a good cop. Even if you've never done that act, even if in your one-to-one interactions you're nice and fair and reasonable, you're not a good cop if you let that happen. You're not a good cop if you're in any cop anywhere in America making excuses for these guys. You're not a good cop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just the complete wrong way to look at it, because guess what? It's a systemic problem.
Mm-hmm.
When there's an E. coli outbreak, you don't take a shred of lettuce and be like, this one's fine. You're like, no, this is a systemic problem. And you know what? I'm over the idea of police reform, because that's not enough. It's too late for that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need reform. We need a reinvention. We need to start over.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like some people, that sounds idealistic. That sounds naive. That sounds too extreme. No, it isn't. What we have now is too extreme.
Yeah.
And it's idealistic and naive to think that we can continue this in any way, shape, and form. We need to start over.
Yeah.
And the sooner we do it, the better. Hey, you know what? We're still amidst a pandemic. What better time to start over the idea of law enforcement than when there's a stay-at-home order for health reasons?
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a better time than that in many ways, as far as like completely reinventing the concept of law enforcement in the country. So why not? If not now, when?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, you know, we need, this is, and the video coming out of every single city is showing people getting their asses kicked. I mean, and unfortunately, I'm not happy this is happening, that people are getting beaten and brutalized by the cops, but the reality is, white people are now getting their asses kicked by the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And white people who probably, most of them, middle-class white kids, have probably never had a bad interaction with the police up until this point. And these last 5 days, a bunch of them did. And they got to see it in real time. And they rolling video, and they're seeing the cops smash out their own cop car windows and throw bricks and unload bricks and all this nonsense. And so, not to mention, people are the reason why we're just looking for some spark. There's going to be some spark. Well, you lay off 30% of this country because of a pandemic, and you give them $1,200, and some people are getting unemployment, some aren't. I know people in 3 different states that are still caught in some quagmire of bureaucracy 2-3 months later now of getting there. Florida, Indiana, myself here in California, still haven't got my money. They're saying I'm getting it now. The website says I'm getting it. I'm getting emails saying I'm getting it. It's June 2nd. I haven't gotten it. I haven't paid my rent yet. So, and I think people are seeing that the whole system is broken. And again, when that guy got mad at me, one of the things I was saying, and when I was in front of the media, I was like, how come they're not talking about the $4.25 trillion looting that Wall Street just did? Why is that not talked about? Why are we talking about a pair of Skechers? Why? And again, people say, well, this private business owner.
He was like, I'll show you. I'm a temporarily embarrassed billionaire.
Yeah.
Fetch the scooter.
Oh.
I got something for you.
And people are like, what if I know this small business owner and that who lost their business? And I'm sorry, it's awful. I'm a small business owner. This friend I was arguing with, would you like it if they came and stole all your stuff from your home? I said, no, I wouldn't, but I would understand. And I have renter's insurance. I mean, I have renter's insurance. I would say I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't like it. Stuff got smashed up. But, you know, like how many businesses have gotten smashed up and looted by big banks, by corporate America? How many mom and pop businesses got snatched up by some giant corporate chain?
And we're still amidst that, by the way.
Yeah.
We're still amidst that because that is in many ways, I mean, yeah, it's not physically visible. Well, I mean, it will be when the dust settles, but, you know, it's not like buildings are literally getting burned down or anything like that. But we have small businesses that aren't going to make this through the pandemic because they weren't supported and they weren't helped. Mm-hmm. I know the government always says small business, but it's not actually small business. It's a dog whistle for, hey, big corporations, we got some cash for you. So what do you think's going to happen when these places can't stay standing? They're going to get bought out, and soon everything on our blocks are going to be cheesecake factories and Starbucks. And yeah, I mean, it's just another version of just destroying the small business community.
You and I know this. There's already 2 clubs from our tour that are out of business. Done.
Yep.
Seattle and Boston. And you and I make a point of working with indie rock clubs and bars and cool comedy clubs, and we don't work for the big chain comedy clubs. I mean, a handful of big name comedy clubs, we know the owners, like the Dorfmans out of Nashville. You know what I mean?
The clubs we go to are the ones we both have long-standing relationships with.
They're good.
You know, they run good clubs, and we like going there.
Yeah, they've always been good to us. We like performing with them. They're cool. They run it. They're not owned by some mega corp. You know, they're not owned by Live Nation or whatever. We make a point of that, and we like supporting those businesses, and we love it when they. Like I remember we did that time in Louisville, one of our first tours, and the second tour actually we did in Louisville. We just found through some comic that there's this bar, cool little bar, a couple of guys owned it. They had an upstairs room that sat like 65 people, and we sold it out on a Saturday night. And the bar owners were like reaching, like, "What? Thanks, God, thank you so much." We help small business owners. We brought this audience to this cool bar in Nashville. People loved it. We had a great show, and we love supporting that. So that's why, I'm not happy that any small businesses are getting looted, and I'm not happy with that at all. But be more angry at the system that creates people that have nothing, that are so pissed off that they feel like that's their option. And then don't also discount or pass over or minimize the fact that there is video after video after video of cops smashing windows. That guy at the AutoZone in Minneapolis, boom, smashing windows, and they found out his ex-wife identified him as a cop from the St. Paul police. Like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. And then the TV cameras show up, And they start rolling after people running in and out. And they always make sure they show the same footage. If it's black people running out of the store, then they always show that. See, the black Dr. King. They always talk about Dr. King would never do this. What are you talking about? After Dr. King was assassinated, there was rioting for 6 days straight. And when people are like, what did rioting and looting and what did that ever do? 6 days of people rioting because of Dr. King. You know what happened after the end of that? The Equal Rights Amendment started happening. Like the laws started getting passed because people were like, man, this is bad. This is bad. And why are these people doing this? And we know, as white guys, we know what these people means when white people say these people. I know what that means. That's a code word for whites to say blacks, the blacks. That's what that these people means. And so what do you think? We've given them nothing. There's nothing. The inner city schools, I mean, in LA, the LA Unified School District in some of those neighborhoods is atrocious. 70 dropout rate. The CIA brought crack cocaine in here. Gary Webb found that out, and he was so distraught, he shot himself in the head twice. So
there's this famous, well, I don't know if famous is right. I guess viral is the better way to put it. But there's this meme going around that's been going really viral, and I don't know the author off the top of my head, but I mean you can just Google it really easily. And my wife shared it, and a bunch of people that I know have shared the same thing, where they're just like, you know what, so many people are saying, you know, it's really sad that you know George Floyd got murdered, but you know looting these businesses, it's got to stop. And it's like, you know what? You got to flip that around. Mm-hmm. It's really sad that this happened to these businesses, but the murdering of black people has got to stop.
Yeah, that needs to be flipped. This outrage over looting and the minimizing of somebody getting murdered, wholesale murdered on camera. And this isn't it's a systemic thing. It's a systemic thing. This isn't a few bad apples. Every police department's doing this. And then what did every police department do this last 5 days? Double down on the nightsticks and the tear gas and the brutality. Double down on it, man. They doubled down on it. This is the thing, and I'm going to show this real quick, what you were just saying, but I want to put this graphic up here. This has been retweeted all over the place. One of the fans of the show, I took this from her Instagram, and it says, "You keep saying it's horrible that an innocent black man was killed, but destroying property has to stop. Try saying it's horrible that property is being destroyed, but killing innocent black men has stopped."
Yeah,
you're prioritizing the wrong part. You know, corporations are not people. Relax, relax. You know, and there's just been crazy misinformation. So there's some fake Antifa account that said we're going to go into white neighborhoods, and it's being unraveled that it's white supremacists are doing. This is another thing. White supremacist group made an announcement on Wednesday to their members to go out and loot and make it look like if they go start fires, the media will come in. Oh, and why are blacks burning down their own neighborhoods? Really? Are they? Or is it white supremacists and undercover cops? Like, and the stuff that we're seeing the cops do, because the difference is the cops have always been doing this. The difference is now we all have one of these in our pocket. We all have a phone. Yeah. You know, we all have with a camera on it. And all these things people would claim, mainly in the black community and brown Native American communities, they'd say, this is the cops planted evidence, they smashed this. And, you know, and there were times I would hear that as a younger white guy going, really? Did the cops really do that? Wouldn't there be evidence? Wouldn't they arrest them? Wouldn't they root out the bad cops? No, not when it's systemic. Not when there's no civilian review boards anywhere. Like, there's no, the cops, internal affairs, it's cops patrolling cops. It's like when Obama gave $1 trillion to the banks in 2009 and said, let them figure out how to spend it. Oh, weird, nobody audited them. And what happened? You know, almost 6 million foreclosures happened. That's what happened. And we're seeing how systemic it is because the reactions by every cop to police department in every city this past week were the same. I mean, some knelt with the protesters and cried, and those were a couple cities where that happened, and that was powerful. And all the Santa Monica police had to do where I was standing, if the Santa Monica police would have done that, it would have been a different thing.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, people chanted to kneel with them, and had they done it, it would have been completely different. Mm-hmm. And I think it is very telling that when that has happened, when the police just put down their weapons and listen for 1 second, everything was great.
People cry.
So who's inciting the violence then?
I know.
Gee, when you don't act as the aggressor, no violence happens.
So
isn't that interesting?
It's weird. So when the guys with automatic weapons and battle armor are talking with people with signs and they put down their guns and kneel with them, then the unarmed people with signs feel safer. Huh.
Weird how that works.
That's weird.
Graham, I mean, I was at a thing tonight in my neighborhood in Pasadena. It was sponsored by the NAACP and a couple local churches in the area, and there were a lot of other groups there as well, and there were even some elected officials. The mayor was there. The
mayor of Pasadena.
The mayor of Pasadena. Okay. Not Garcetti, but the mayor of Pasadena was there, and one of the city council people was there who's actually running for mayor and is probably going to beat the current guy. But and then there was another city council member there who I actually like. I wish he would run for mayor. This guy, Tyrone Hampton. But yeah, and they all spoke. And at one point, the Pasadena mayor referred to it as a parade, which was not the smartest thing. Yeah, kind of looked bad. He could have been, I'm trying to be kind of fair because he did show up, and that's better than not showing up. But he could have been, because it started as a car, like a bunch of the cars went in procession to City Hall. So it started at this like parking lot, and I mean, I just showed up on foot to City Hall, but so he might have been referring to the car part, but it was still not the best choice of words, or not at least adding the word protest. It wasn't the best. Wasn't the best phrasing by him. And at one point, one of the activists that spoke kind of called it out because they were just like, by the way, this isn't a parade. We're not celebrating right now. But it was completely 100% peaceful. People were playing music. And there weren't any, I mean, yeah, there were police around, but they were all like a couple blocks down and, not in the vicinity, and they were not bothering anyone, and they were just letting people chant, letting people, hold up their signs, letting people, no one had riot gear on or anything like that. And I get it. This is, a different type of protest. Elected officials are right there. It's at City Hall. But still, I mean, it was 1,000% peaceful. And there was not like a militaristic police presence. And when you look at every single, for instance, there was no difference in the way that Pasadena protest was versus the protest in Beverly Hills when it started.
Right.
There was no difference. It was 100% peaceful. So it's like, and then it changed when the cops showed up.
Yep.
So it's, it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, the cops are stirring this up.
Absolutely stirring this up, and I urge everybody to watch Convo Couch because they have some pretty powerful footage. They were shot with rubber bullets. They were kneeling peacefully and shot with rubber bullets by LAPD. And Garcetti, a Democrat, has said nothing about that. He just, the looters, be peaceful, be peaceful. Why don't you have your LAPD be peaceful? And
yeah, no kidding.
It's unbelievable. All these Democrats, if you think the Any Blue Will Do crowd's going to save you, you're out of your mind. The 1994 Biden crime bill that was ratified by Bill Clinton, that's part of what's put this in place, that we have these cops that just treat you like trash. Like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Well, it's amazing what that police chief said. And he won't. So the LA police chief, who is his name Michael Moore, he's not the film guy, he's the cop guy. But he said that the blood of the protester, or excuse me, the blood of George Floyd is on the protesters' hands. Like, they're as responsible for his death as the cop who murdered him, basically. That's literally what he said. And then he followed it up with, I know that's a powerful statement. So he knew exactly what he said. He wrote it down. He chose to say it. And they deleted that footage. They're trying to just straight up hide the footage. And Mayor Garcetti wrote an apology for the guy, tweeted out an apology on that guy's behalf. And it's like, no, Mayor Garcetti, that guy needs to be fired immediately, and you need to resign. That's what needs to happen.
I went to
you're done.
You're absolutely right. And I'm looking, I'm at Ron's Twitter page, so I'm going to bring this up. I want everybody to see this. This is the chief of police. His name is Michael Moore, not the big...
So what that tells me is that two things. We didn't have protests last night. We had criminal acts. We didn't have people mourning the death of this man, George Floyd. We had people capitalizing. His death is on their hands, as much as it is those officers. And that is a strong statement. But I must say that this civil unrest that we're in the midst of, we must turn a corner from people who are involved in violence, people who are involved in preying upon others. So what that tells me is that two things. We didn't have protests last night. We had criminal acts. We didn't have people mourning the death of this man, George Floyd. We had people capitalizing. His death is on their hands, as much as it is those officers. And that is a strong statement. But I must say that this civil unrest that we're in the midst of, we must turn a corner.
Well, I can't listen to that jackass anymore. Yeah, here's how we turn the corner, is maybe not show up in riot gear and shoot people. You've initiated all the violence, LAPD.
Yeah, it is so, and it's so discouraging because we have just seen in the past few months how insanely useful, or excuse me, insanely useless our federal government is.
Yeah.
They are completely useless. I'm sorry. I mean, they should all be replaced. Every single person at this point, because they just gave away trillions to the bank, went on vacation, and told us all to pound sand.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Mm-hmm. They might as well just have an ATM that says Wall Street only. So that way it's less subtle and people can wake up to it. And so here's federal government being like, hey, we're completely useless and we work against you. And now local government's being like, hold up, us too. Don't forget about us. We're doing the same thing. And when you hear people like Bill de Blasio and Eric Garcetti, you're like, we need a complete overhaul here.
This is the big any blue will do Democrats that are going to defeat Trump, right? Trump is a fascist asshole who's just did that press op. He tear gassed people so he could go hold the Bible or some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
He said, oh, we're going to unleash the military, which is so you're seeing. This is really challenging everybody's, this is what the Trump supporters like, I'm for small government. I don't want government interference. Oh, but you're okay with him unleashing the military and locking you down, right? Is that what happened? Because somebody
we've never experienced any big government, quote unquote, like this ever. Mm-hmm. Like, well, maybe not ever, but in a really long freaking time. We're living under martial law. It's martial law.
Yeah, and that's what's unbelievable. So Trump is not saying these awful and these dumb things, but it's like the Democratic Party. Bill de Blasio was a presidential candidate. Eric Garcetti, Gavin Newsom, they're all like, oh, these Democrats are going to lead us through the way. We can't trust any of them. I mean, let's not forget. So let's talk about this for a second. The violence that's been perpetrated against black people, but people of color in general, that starts at the top with the federal government bombing 8 countries. That starts with George W. Bush getting us into 2 illegal wars. Well, Iraq was definitely illegal. Afghanistan, you could debate, but got us into 2 wars after 9/11. Barack Obama taking us from 2 wars to 7. Obama dropping more bombs than Bush. Obama deporting 3 million people, building cages at the border. 90% of Obama's casualties from his bombs were civilian targets. So we just kill people. We are so numb as Americans. We set the Middle East on fire, kill people. There's 85,000 children have died just in Yemen from this, mainly starvation, because we've supported a blockade. We've starved them to death. That is a deplorable. There's no word for how horrifying that is. So that started under Obama and continued by this idiot, Trump. So we need to acknowledge everything. We can't sit there and if we're going to talk about, we got to talk about how awful we are as a country. I mean, so of course we're numb to the fact of cops shooting unarmed black people and just nightsticking the shit out of anybody of any color during these protests. Like, it's because that's what we do. We don't care. People die every year because they don't have health insurance. Oh boy, how are we going to pay for it? There's tent cities that have probably doubled or quadrupled since this goddamn pandemic and the economy shut down. And we just, what are you going to do about it? We got to do something about it. Well, the city of Los Angeles increased its police budget, which is the equivalent of the federal government increasing its war budget. That's what that is. And cutting social services. There's all these fancy high-rise luxury apartments and condos all throughout LA that were barely full before the pandemic. Who the fuck can afford a $5,000 one bedroom now? And
yeah, it's...
Gee, I don't know. Are there any homeless people who could use a place to stay? I don't know. Could we put them in these luxury high rises? They deserve it. If you've lived a year on the street, 6 months, a month on the street, you deserve a luxury high rise courtesy of the billionaires that run Los Angeles. Like,
well, and they won't even honor no vacancy now. I mean, they won't even do it now. I mean, you know, there's been a handful of rooms that have come through for the homeless. Like, well, more than a handful, but not near as many as are needed. And there's been protest after protest, people showing up in front of Garcetti's house. And that's the only reason we got anything. The only reason we got anything was because people kept showing up doing those car protests at Garcetti's house. I mean, had that not happened, we wouldn't have gotten anything at all.
Oh yeah, I know. And he got $100 million, which sounds like a lot, but it breaks down to $1,000 for 50,000 families. Now, if you're one of those 50,000 families, awesome. That's great. I hope that helps. But I'm pretty sure there's a few more than 50,000 people in Los Angeles, the second largest city in America. We're in the neighborhood of about 3 or 4 million people just in LA's city limits, not even counting the county. And you want to do $1,000, which is like, you know, I would take it if anyone, you know, offered it. I mean, thanks, but it's like, that's what we're giving. It's more table scraps. It's more like, you know, and it comes from the top down. So the federal government spends money on war and bails out corporations. That's what we do on a smaller scale in California. Gavin Newsom signed 24 fracking permits on April 3rd in the middle of the pandemic. Garcetti, I'm sure, has gotten plenty of money from all those developers building all those high-rise buildings all throughout LA. I'm sure the city got a taste somewhere. There's no way they didn't. And boy, we always got money for the police department, but we don't have money for social services. It's unbelievable. Like, it's the same argument that Bernie made on the floor of the Senate in 1994 when he argued against Joe Biden's crime bill. Why don't we spend money on the things that cause crime? Why don't we put money into better schools? The kids that came and looted, what if they had good public schools? You know, good sports teams, good after-school programs. Again, I've said this before. I'm big brother to a kid. I've seen his public schools where he goes to. He doesn't have half of what my 6 nieces and nephews have. And none of my nieces and nephews are rich. They're just middle-class white kids living in suburban America. So there's money for recitals and instruments and taekwondo classes and ballet and any kind of sports league they want and all the off-season camps and leagues and all this stuff. And working class and poor parents don't have money for that shit. And so what happens? Where do the kids go? What happens? Well, and now they're all out of school because everything's shut down. So what do you think's going to happen? Like, it's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it really is. And you kind of, it's one of those things. I mean, I was having this conversation with someone recently where I was just, we were talking about just police brutality and all that. And they were saying, well, there's just a lot more crime and poverty here. And I'm like, yeah, don't you wonder why that is and want to change that too? Yeah. Like, this is all connected.
They think they're like separate
everything's
things.
Going great.
It's like, why? Well, look at, they shouldn't be looting. That's not what Dr. King did. What? What do you think? What do you think goes when people are that poor? I mean, I was literally arguing with my friend today because I was like, look, I've been in South Central, you know, where my little brother's grandmother lived. And you know what they don't have? They don't have a Burke Williams, which is a nice high-end day spa. They don't have Jamba Juice. They don't have Pilates and Trader Joe's and sushi. And she goes, well, then there should be a sit down about, hey, let's get Burke Williams to open up a business down there. And let's have a sit down, like a sit down? Like,
point went way over that person's head.
Wow. And I go, you got a lot of privilege. So do I. She's like, I earned it and I did all this. I was like, wow, you sound like a Trump supporter. Better take that Obama sticker off your Prius because you just sound like I earned this. I go, yeah, you worked hard in a system that helps white people. And had you not worked hard, you wouldn't have succeeded. But there's plenty of people who worked hard and the system just crushes them. You got hired, but you worked hard and got hired because you were an attractive young white woman. That's why they hired you. I mean, no one was weirded out by you. No one felt threatened by you. You know, the job applications, you know, Kwame, I'm just going to put that one to the side. That kind of shit, that subtle discrimination, it's not overt, it's not open. They're not saying we don't hire blacks. So we do have a very diverse population. We have a whole, and they just those little things like that, man. You know? And
well, absolutely. And one of the things I was gonna also add to what you were saying, you know, there were, you know, it's interesting, and I'm trying not to come down too hard on the local officials who were there because they were there, and it's cool that they were there, but. You know, if I'm being totally honest, there were, you know, some local activists in the community who spoke, you know, black activists, and there were some pastors who spoke, and there were some NAACP members who spoke, and pretty much all of them had policies that they were talking about that we need. And and then, you know, the elected officials, you know, with the exception to that one city council member, they kind of just gave platitudes.
right.
But every single person mentioned schools.
Yep.
Every single person mentioned school. That was a big one. One of them said free college because they were like, we needed free public education from K through the age of 22, which meant 4-year colleges. Every single person brought up schools and programs. One person brought up, you know what, we shouldn't have, you know, instead of giving the police, because, you know, they want to increase the police budget by $3 million in Pasadena. He says, you know what, instead of doing that, they can get the same amount they got last year, and that extra $3 million goes to help people dealing with COVID. It goes to help COVID this year. And every single one, and then the one council member who actually did have something to say and did speak about policy, you know, that person also talked about schools. That person also talked about an emergency services meeting to talk about how we're going to prevent, you know, anything like this from happening in Pasadena, anything like George Floyd from happening in Pasadena. He was also the only person who brought up police brutality in Pasadena's past, because there has been some. There has been some in Pasadena, not LAPD, but Pasadena specific. He's the only one who confronted that and brought it up. He was also the black council member.
Yep. And it's like, it's the people. I mean, again, my heart breaks is what happened all over the country and in LA, but specifically in the city that I live. But unfortunately, the reality is, I think some white people needed to see this, but they're not learning. Some of them are not learning. They're not learning the correct lessons. And they're like, they quote Dr. King, and they don't realize like how all of that. Which Dr. King are you talking about? All the socialist speeches that have been wiped from history, those ones? Or are you just talking about the I Have a Dream one? Because he talked about this kind of stuff. JFK talked about, I mean, JFK said it. What's that quote of his? You know, if you make peaceful resistance impossible, then you make...
Oh, those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable.
Yeah. That's JFK said that. Lines. Like, and people act like, why are they so mad? Like, what? What do you think is going on? I mean, if I lived in a poor neighborhood and I had no chance, no opportunity, and the cops were hassling me every day, and some friends of mine were shot or beat up by the cops or whatever, and I came into a nice neighborhood, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to do what I want. People think that the rioting and looting is not connected, but it is. It's a form of fuck you. It's a form of the protest. Some people are taking a knee and doing it peaceful, and some people are saying, you know, I'm poor, I'm broke. You've given me nothing. What do you expect? Like, it's crazy, man.
Do you think that there's like another round of like a mass awakening though? Because you know, and this is kind of like, you know, I get this is the optimist in me, but I really do think there is. I think more people are really starting to see the bigger picture, and a complete change of heart and mind doesn't happen overnight. But I think there's a new layer of seeds planted.
Yeah.
Just in the types of people that I've seen at these protests, and I'm not trying to overgeneralize, but some folks said it's like, well, I bet the last time you went to something like this, it was to hold up a sign about how you'd rather be at brunch, but you're here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that you're here, and I hope I hope this is kind of opening, widening your take on things. Wow. And there's probably going to be some lady running around yelling at people saying Trump's going to get reelected. That's going to take this all away from me. I don't know if you saw that video, but
oh really? So where was this?
Oh yeah,
some Karen.
Yes, there was this lady, and she was just. There were just people. This was in Santa Monica, and she's like, "This is how Trump's going to get reelected. We don't want Trump, please. This is how Trump's." And it's. I don't think she realized what she was really saying, because what she was really saying there was, listen, black people, I know you're tired of being systemically murdered, but you just got to shut up a little while longer, because maybe Trump won't win if you shut up a while longer.
Yeah,
and it's like that's you don't realize how how just basically cruel what you're actually saying is.
Right. A white lady didn't get it.
Completely
That's weird.
short-sighted. Like you don't realize. But I still, despite that, for instance, I do really have optimism that there's a bigger awakening happening right now, and especially since how many young people I've seen out. And I mean, Gen Z, the type of stuff that they're doing on TikTok, which I'm having a like an aging millennial moment, because I'm not on TikTok and I don't know how to use it. But the stuff that I see shared on Twitter or Instagram that they're posting on those types of platforms against capitalism, it's it kind of gives me some hope that it's like on the electoral level, I have never felt more hopeless, but on the people power level, I've never felt more hopeful.
I agree with that. Yeah, seeing the social media posts, and again being there Sunday at a rally that was a very diverse crowd, but it was at least 50% white, if not more, and it was a lot of younger white people, but some people of all ages. And the thing that white people got to see. They were treated by the police this past 5 days the way black people are always treated. And they got to see that. They got to see the cops overreact and show up and scare them. And I think that's going to have a lasting effect. Just where I was standing when this squad car pulled up and said, "Get the fuck out of the way." And then these motorcycles come flying by. And I saw this nicely little dressed, 20-something blonde girl kind of, kick at the cop car. At the motorcycle. And I was like, okay, I'm not, but she's pissed. She's probably never done that in her life. She's probably never even thought to do that in her life. And I'm not saying go out and smash up cop cars, but she's seeing this like, I'm pissed off. This isn't right. Mm-hmm. And all of the white silence equals violence signs. It's like, yep, we got to own this, man. We can't sit on the sidelines anymore. And like you say, I've said this before, like anybody your age or younger, we've been at war for over half your life. And everybody just saw this last 2 months, a federal government that does not give a shit about you, that doesn't care. And all this misinformation about COVID and no masks. And, it's like, they're seeing it like, boy, the cops got every mask they need, but frontline hospital workers don't. I mean, everyone's seeing it, this stark reality. And then, oh my God, Jeff Bezos is going to be the first trillionaire. And this is I've never seen people, especially young people, be like, boo, eat it, eat the rich, sorry, capitalism. That I got, Dave Anthony told me he got mocked for wearing a socialist shirt at a comedy club in in San Francisco in 2003. San Francisco, that's supposed to be all lefty Magoo, and this girl's like, oh God, socialist. Like, when has that ever worked? She said, and I'm sure she considers herself some big lefty liberal, got a I'm with her hat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, boy, if you had a rainbow flag on, Dave, she would have loved you, but she doesn't see the value of socialism. So like, I think the younger people are really like, nah, I'm done with capitalism. Like, we've seen it, all of our shows, the Democratic Socialist table was always younger people.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And
Yep.
there were some older lefties that would show up, which are great, and they'd set up stuff, and great, and love it. And they've been in the fight for a long time. But to see young people, 20, 21, 22, or in this case, 16, 15, whatever, going, I'm in. Capitalism,
and
wipe me out.
chapters are exploding on college campuses. I mean, it's just, you know, it has been a buzzword in the media for so long, and it's finally breaking up. Like, it's finally like that. You know, that brainwashing is just not working anymore. And there's a number of reasons for it. One of the reasons is people are turning away from cable news in droves,
Yes.
especially the younger generation. They have no use for it.
They don't watch
There's
it.
No point. They don't watch it. Also, you know, Bernie Sanders, like what Bernie Sanders started in 2016. He didn't run away from the term. You know, that really excited a lot of people and kind of really gave a shot in the arm to a movement that already existed, but got a big boost because of all that. So yeah, I mean, we're seeing a shift, and it's, you know, you kind of gotta just hold out the hope and do everything we can to try to make that a reality, because we're not going back to normal, quote unquote. That's not going to be a thing. So, you know, we have a chance for a better new normal or a complete plunge into oblivion. I mean, it's going to be one of the two.
Yeah. I mean, just in a quick thing, and then we'll move on to something else. But like, again, my friend that I was arguing with today, that I basically like, I can't talk to you anymore, is in her early 60s. And she's like, well, the news shows the looting. So that's where she's getting her information. The local news that just goes looters, looters, looters bad. I watched CBS News on Sunday show this same clip of these, you know, a dozen black people running out of a shoe store, and they acted like it was the worst crime that had ever happened. And no showing the cops being excessive. No asking, you know, about the economic reasons. Not saying, you know, this is about police brutality. We need to address police brutality. Yeah, looting's bad, but George Floyd getting murdered is worse. They never, ever, ever said that. So that's what's being fed into her. She doesn't watch any independent media, just watches the news. I'm sure thinks MSNBC is to the left of Fox. And it's that stuff. Russia, China's bad. That's the other thing. So,
which they already tried to do.
Nice try.
They did the Russia sowing this.
Oh,
Which when I saw that, I was just like, okay, it's a red herring cult at this point.
well, I'm here to
Can't
tell you,
call it
Ron.
anything else.
It's not Russian armored vehicles that are less than a mile from my house. There's not Russian troops in downtown Santa Monica. There's not Chinese troops in Santa Monica. There wasn't a Chinese military helicopter flying over my head when I was surfing today. That was the good old US of A. That was our military.
And it wasn't Putin who, like, you know, didn't really screen cops all that great. So actual KKK members are getting badges and guns, and people with serious PTSD that can't de-escalate a situation because they've been untreated or getting badges and guns and not trained properly. It wasn't Putin that was behind all that.
I don't think
for
so.
Decades.
I don't think. I
That
think
wasn't.
maybe it
That
was
wasn't like a side hobby of his.
I mean, I thought he was the one. I think Putin was the one, or maybe it was Jill Stein who got rid of the civilian review boards.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe it was them. I don't know.
I mean, I thought maybe he was just like, in my spare time, I train police in America. Like, I thought maybe that was his thing. But, you know, lately, it seems like that's not the case. It seems like we did it ourselves.
Oh, shit. Shave your knuckles for justice, Ron Placone. Let me read a couple of super chats here. Jason, sorry guys, they've been jumping around. Where is that? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Jason R. Shave your knuckles for justice. It's all George Grows and Big Kale. Here comes some shekels. Pacific Northwest shouts. Right on, Jason. Thank you so much. Humanity, boom. Aussie journalists still won't support Assange even now. Ugh. That's the problem. You know, Australia, it's Rupert Murdoch. You know, he put a lot of money into the media there to help spew that nonsense. And it's great to see, you know, I follow People for Assange. They're a really good Instagram account to follow because they're out there trying to get awareness. They're an Assange organization that's in Australia. We met a bunch of them at when our tour there was in November. I'm sorry I didn't marry an Australian girl and live there, so I didn't have to go through this horrifying crap that we're in now, but my apologies.
We had some off days too, man. You had time.
Had a couple off days. I should have got on Aussie Tinder and just like found me a girl.
Just made it happen.
It's my fault. The minute they open the borders back up, I'm going back down there. Derek, what's up, Derek? Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Graham, did you see the video of DC police assaulting Australian reporters live on TV? Here's the link. No, I heard about it, but let me play it for everybody. I'm sure it's. No, that's not what I want. I want to stay here. No. I went to the wrong one. Damn it. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I can't click on the link. That's bad.
You sure it's an okay link? You might want to.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a super chatter you're really familiar with, or?
Might not be. That might have been a bad mistake. I might have made a mistake. 697 watching, 353 likes. Did we lose everybody? I'm sorry. That was my fault. I shouldn't have clicked on a link. That's a rookie move. That's a rookie move. All right, we're back. Is everybody back? All right.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff, man. If it's someone you don't know,
yeah,
it's because like people, you know, and I mean, 99% chance is that person wants to share information and they're you know, a good egg or whatever, but there's always that chance that like it could be like a phishing thing or something.
Yeah, my fault. That was a very rookie move. That was very rookie move. Okay, we're back. Sorry that went down. Where are we at? Sorry, we got to go back. Thank you everybody for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. It just warms my heart, man. Ron and I were talking about this today. Earlier today, I was just like, I don't want to go live. I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything. But then once we start going, I feel good. It's great hearing your comments. It's great talking to you. So, it's cool. All right, I'll check that Australian Reporters Live thing out on another time, and I'll find it and talk about it. Oh, it never went away? Okay, thank you. It said it never went away. Mock Racy, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Missed your virtual comedy with Ron. Will you again? Ron, we're figuring that.
We definitely will. I mean, right now, it is such a very, I guess, crazy time, for lack of a better word, in the moment. But, you know, we're taking it one day at a time, but we will for sure be doing more Zoom shows.
Yeah.
You know, so just hold tight. They will be happening. We're just kind of taking it one day at a time right now.
Yeah, and I mean, just to be real clear here, I don't know what it's like where you live, but where Ron and I live, we have curfews and there's soldiers in the streets. So, yeah, I could not tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone Saturday. So we'll try. We love doing them, and we will let you know. And thank you to everybody that did the last one, because we raised $240. We gave $120 to the People's City Council, and we gave $120 to it was going to be the Minnesota Freedom Fund, but they're tapped. They got so many donations. They're like, we're this small organization, we're good, and they gave this list of other non-for-profits in Minnesota. So we did this one that is helping people, like small businesses that have been affected by COVID-19 and the riots and stuff like that. So y'all helped out. It was really cool what you did. Greg Vara, what's up, Greg? Shaking over his ashes. Mark Ruffalo tweeted, NYPD had protesters trapped on the Brooklyn Bridge. He's asking de Blasio to let them go. Wow. This is what
NYPD's been ridiculous. I mean, beyond ridiculous.
And ridiculous. And
I mean, every city has
just
horror stories. I mean, DC, Atlanta, New York, LA. I mean,
and the other thing too is what we need now is citizen journalists, because the corporate media, the local media is like, they are state TV, baby. They are lockstep with the police department and the mayors, and they will not show any negative coverage of the police. They will not show any negative coverage of anything. They will only show looters and troublemakers. That's all they will do.
They also won't show any positive aspects of the. I mean, I saw one of the local news stations at the protest tonight, and I saw them kind of just watch. It was one reporter and one camera person, and they just sort of at one point, and I don't know, maybe they did a lot of filming at one point. I can't say 100% for sure, but when I saw them, they were kind of walking around surveying the scene, and the cameraman looked at the reporter and she just kind of shrugged. And it's just like, well, there's people in the community talking about solutions, talking about how they care about their community, talking about justice. And these are, Black voices in our community, Pasadena. You could cover them. You can cover, but I guess there's no violence going on, or there's no, so you don't want to cover it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I've seen that time and time again. I mean, when I was in grad school, I did this thing where the local media, Occupy was going on, and the local media just went right past the academic who was speaking and the people who were talking about issues, straight to the one person that was like banging a drum and barely had any clothes on, and the big patch of dead grass. So they could talk, oh, look at how crappy the grass is because of this.
Yep.
They have an agenda.
They have clear agenda. I mean, I saw it Sunday. So I'm at the corner of Montana and Ocean. And the protest took over that intersection. Cars stopped and they got on their knees. And I was there. Everyone said, and there was a moment of silence. And it was beautiful. And everyone had their hand up. I mean, like, I was in tears. It was beautiful. There was a helicopter 200 yards above us, but no on-the-ground reporters going, they're taking a very beautiful, peaceful moment. No. The reporters on the ground waited till the rioting started, and then they were showing the broken windows and the people running out of the stores. That's what they covered. They didn't cover any of the peaceful anything.
How cool would you have been as a news personality if you would have knelt with everybody?
Yeah.
And then talked to people. You would have been like the coolest news person in the country. You would have went viral.
Yes.
You would have went viral. Because that's how insipid and bland and drained our news media is. So if you would have been the one person that's like, I want to tell the community story, and you got on your knee with everyone else.
Yeah.
And you started talking to people, you'd go viral.
Viral.
Maybe it wouldn't be like the bloodlust that your authorities want.
I know.
But it would go viral. So who cares? You can go off on your own then.
The only media that was there at that intersection at that time, Ron, was me with this phone, live streaming, just showing it. And during that moment, I got on my knee and I just showed people what they just got to watch it in real time with me. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. And then I got to show them where the cops were, and I showed them where the helicopter was. And I said, see how this is all choreographed? So it's all, it was infuriating. It was infuriating. But the point is, back to the Mark Ruffalo thing, it is up to all of us to be citizen journalists. If you're able to go to these protests, have your camera ready. Have a backup battery. Be ready to roll footage. One of the things I was doing, the bulk of the protest was here. I was walking around behind it, looking for cops to instigate, looking for undercover cops. Look, that's what I was looking for. Agitators. And I saw this one guy, white guy, had a big face thing on here. Now he had a ponytail, but he had like green pants, but he had those like combat shoes that cops wear, those black. I knows what those boots are. I've seen them. I've seen the green versions and the brown versions in Iraq and Afghanistan. So I was like, and I just started following that guy quietly, and I just wouldn't say anything. I just had my camera and I was just live streaming. I was just following him. I was just waiting to see what he was going to do. I didn't catch him doing anything. I don't know if he was a cop, but he sure as shit looked like one.
As soon as you turned around, that guy probably grabbed a scooter. You don't even know. That's probably what he did.
So it's up to all of us, man, to be citizen journalists thing. If you're not able to protest, because look, we're still in COVID-19. I had my mask on, and I am concerned. Like 3 weeks from now, there are a bunch of people from these protests going to be in the hospital. You know, we all had masks, but it was close. It was, so it's an issue. And some people look, Graham, I'm around my mother-in-law, and she's in her 80s, and so I didn't go out. It's totally cool. Do what you can. And retweet people's posts and stuff like that, and show where the media is lying. That all those little things help.
I think there's even I think a portion on Black Lives Matter's website where they have a thing where it's like, are you unable to protest or just don't feel comfortable for whatever reason? Here's other things you can do.
Yes.
There's resources out there where it's like, yeah, if you can't be out here, here's what you can do. Yep.
Signatures. All this stuff, petitions, donate to all these funds, because people are getting arrested wholesale, so they need their legal costs covered. I mean, Fee and Johnny from Combo Couch were arrested, and they got let go because the jails were full.
Yeah, we talked about that today, and Fee was saying that somebody told her this was all just sort of an intimidation thing.
Right.
And I think that's totally what it was. I don't think it was like, oh, the jails are full, we didn't know. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. Because with Fee, and I'm sure Fee said this on your show too, no one was read their Miranda rights.
Right.
So this was just an intimidation stunt to scare people. And these are the police forces we need to throw more money at.
Yeah, make sure these guys get more money. I need them to have more tear gun canisters. And that's the other thing too. They're like, oh, the people are throwing stuff at the cops. It was spent tear gas shells. Those were the projectiles. So you shoot a metal tear gas thing at me, and then you're shocked that I pick it up and chuck it back at you? Is that unreal, man? Humanity, shave your knuckles for justice. EMDR is good for PTSD. I have PTSD from rape trauma. I'm aware of that. Thank you. I did EMDR for 2.5 years for what happened to me as a kid. I don't feel like going into it now, but if you just look up Graham Elwood Me Too story, you can hear me talk about that. But thank you, Humanity, and to anybody out there that's had any sort of traumatic stuff, EMDR is very helpful for that. That's one of the things I was talking about at the top of this stream.
So I'm kind of embarrassed here, but what's EMDR?
It stands for eye movement, something. I always forget what it stands for, but it is, and someone can
is it really bad I don't know what that is, or is it sort of an obscure thing?
It's not bad that you don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's not, you're not a dummy for not knowing what it is. It's something that they've started to develop probably back in the 80s, but they started in the last 10 years. It really picked up steam because it's been helpful with a lot of returning vets with PTSD. I forget what it stands for. Someone's going to type this here in a second.
All right.
So
is it like an exercise or?
Yeah. So what they do, they used to do it with a finger. So they would basically, what what happens with PTSD? So what happens is your brain goes. So like, let's say a combat vet, right? So somebody drops a broomstick or something like that and makes a loud bang. Your nervous system takes you all the way to DEFCON 5, like takes you to there's an immediate threat happening. And what EMDR does is give your brain sort of resources on how to, and I'm not explaining it that great, I just know that it works, but eye movement desensitization reprocessing, that's what it stands for.
Okay.
So it basically is retraining actually remapping, reprogramming your brain, reprocessing your brain to not go to that extreme. It's like you go on these extreme pendulums, right? So like what we would do is we would talk about something difficult, and my doctor used these you can hold these buzzers and they buzz back and forth, right, left. So it's getting your brain to do that. And then you could put them on your thighs. I sat on your thighs. The early days, they would have you watch this finger, that finger, I believe. But this is how I did it. Other people in the stream might have had different versions of it, but this is what I did. So then we would talk about something really challenging, and we'd get to the heart of what it made me feel like. I felt powerless. I felt like I was weak. I was bad. I should have done more. Like with child trauma, it's like you fall into this shame thing, and so then and you really try to tap into what those emotions felt, and then so you'd go to what they called a positive resource. So he'd say, let's pick up a positive resource, something that happened. And sometimes I would say, oh, I was just on stage. I just did this awesome show. And they go, tell you how you felt. I felt empowered. I felt awesome. I felt appreciated. I felt all these things. And so they basically try to get your brain to not go to 10 immediately, and kind of like catch, as you're starting to like swing up the pendulum, you get to, and there's breathing exercises you can do. So like you're starting to feel like you're getting triggered, you then pattern your brain into like a positive resource and calm down and sort of talk to yourself and go, no, this is just someone yelling at me in traffic. They're not threatening my life.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
And you're basically repatterning your brain because your brain has been patterned to just go 0 to 60.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No. It does. I mean, I've definitely, and I think I've like read different things in like different like self-help books and like anger management and stuff like that. That's sort of like sort of in that vein. I've never heard that term before, but cool.
Yeah, and it's helpful too with repressed memories of trauma because the human brain. This can happen in an adult brain, but it also happens in a kid's brain. As a traumatic event happens, and the human brain will just seal off the memory.
Right. Yeah.
And so then something triggers it open, and it's like when I was getting it a lot from going into the war zones, I would just smell something that smelled like one of the bases. Obviously, the hot sound of a military helicopter would like put me into it. And there was this song that this soldier showed me the first time I was in Afghanistan. They made this compilation of this guy from their unit that had died, and they had a service on the base before we got there. It was the first base I ever went to, Salerno, and he showed me this compilation with these touching images of like people crying and stuff, and there was a song that they put to it, and I to this day cannot remember it. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I would just think, and it hasn't happened in a long time, but
if you heard it, you would probably know right away.
If I heard it, I remember just being like in a store, like in a TJ Maxx, like in Denver. I was on the road and I'm just like looking at cheap shirts, and the song came on, and I'm just like all of a sudden like weeping in the store or whatever. So that kind of stuff happens. So that's another thing EMDR can kind of help with is because then when those repressed memories come forward again, your body is reacting as though you're right back in that thing. So PTSD is like you're watching the same movie over and over and over and over. And my first therapist with it before I did EMDR was like, the goal is to get you out of the movie theater. Because I was just sort of replaying the like Afghanistan stuff over and over in my head and talking about it all the time, and I couldn't. And they're like, first we're going to get you out of the theater into the lobby, then we're going to get you on the street, then we're going to get you some blocks away, and then years from now, someone's going to come to you and tell you, and you're going to go, I saw that movie, it's fantastic, but I don't need to see it again,
Right. Yeah.
So that's all that shit that's been.
All right. Cool.
So yeah, thanks to police brutality, some of that's getting triggered back, so it's all good, man. But I hope this EMDR conversation was helpful to a lot of the viewers there. This is a good thing. Hit the like button, everybody. Danny Knapp, what's up, Danny? Shave your knuckles for justice. When you're fighting an uber capitalist government, don't you have to hit them where they care about businesses and economy? Yeah, Danny, that's a good point. I mean, it's like, let's say other people are like,
that's why general strike's the way to go.
Yeah, yes.
General strike is what we need.
That's what we need, general strike. I mean, like I said, I cannot condone the looting, but I totally get it. And I think a general strike is the way to go. Yeah, I agree. That's like the most productive way to do it, is to hit them economically. Farhad, shave your knuckles for justice. Graham and Ron, you guys are a lifeline to many, including myself. As an Iranian, I never forget how you guys stood up for us when the world was on the verge of another BS war. Well, dude, thank you for supporting the show. And it's why, why Ron and I are out there protesting for this, because this is a bullshit war too. This war against unarmed black people, and now just all Americans they're putting a bullshit war on us. The war in Iran is bullshit. And thanks, man. We really, that's the thing I do love about this community is it's like we're all on this. We're all like fighting for the same shit when it comes down to it, man. We're all fighting for peace, fighting against injustice, and why are we spending all this money on war and cops and prisons and all this bullshit when we could have this, the planet Earth could be a fucking utopia if America stopped swinging its military dick all over the place, like, ugh. So thanks for supporting the show, Farhad. I really appreciate it. And I want to come visit Iran. I really want to go there. Anthony Chisholm, I rented this scooter to throw at you. Thanks, brother. Karen Webster, shave your knuckles for justice. Deja vu with the birdcage.
The movie? I don't know.
Wait a minute. I think I missed that reference, Karen.
Yeah, I think I missed it.
Was there a
too.
birdcage thing? Did somebody throw a birdcage at me once and I forgot to tell you that story or something? Mberg33, what's up, Mark? How you doing, brother? Jerk making me think of comedians got a boo-boo. Yep. Jason R, shave your knuckles for justice. The irony of me typing this, but if it's but it's the internet's fault. It made everyone think their statements and options deserve to be heard. Thanks, Jason. Gunstar1, shave your knuckles for justice. My cousin sent me a link to an article that basically said that Ghislaine Maxwell had an affair with Bill Clinton. Any truth to this? Oh boy. So, and I don't think this is an accident, but a lot of Epstein stuff has been coming out this past week. So while everybody's talking about the George Floyd,
because isn't there the Netflix thing?
Well, the Netflix thing just came out, absolutely. And
is that worth watching, Graham?
I have not seen it yet. I've heard.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
There's some bullshit. I canceled my Netflix, so I need to sign up for like a 14-day free trial because I don't want to give them money. But I've heard that. My fear was like this Netflix thing is going to whitewash the fact of who's really powerful, and it's going to focus. It's going to be slightly distracting. Like just focus over here. Don't focus on the black book and all the people that haven't been prosecuted. That's what I've sort of been hearing from some of the audience here. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the hacktivist has threatened to release documents saying that they show that Jeffrey Epstein and Trump raped a 13-year-old girl, which I wouldn't doubt it, man, but I wouldn't.
Anonymous is back.
Yes, baby.
Anonymous is back and they're ticked off.
Good.
They are mad. Get
after it. If you're watching, God be with you. Go get them. Anything I can do to help, reach out, and however you all know how to do that. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. There's more black book and sealed documents that they've gotten a hold of because the FBI got all this shit 10, 11 months ago. Gee, it's weird. They take 11 months no one's been charged yet, and now we've got all these protests, so we need to deal with that. I have not forgotten about Epstein, and I will not forget about it. I know this past week has been pretty heavy on what's going on, and I will keep covering that because Black Lives Matter, but so does rounding up fucking pedophile, sex trafficking billionaires. That matters too, baby, and I'm going to keep going.
I did see one Trump's a pedophile sign at the protest tonight.
Good.
There actually was.
Good. Good. Because all the Trump supporters, like, where is the prosecutor? They think he's some like hidden hero that's going to unveil all. No, he's part of it. That's why nothing's happened. He's part of it. He's part of them. He's part of the ruling class. He's part of these pedophile billionaire sex traffickers. He's a fucking Nazi idiot, and he needs to go. Joe Biden is a complete idiot as well, and a racist and a rapist, and these are our two choices. That's why electoral politics isn't working.
Yep.
Karen Webster, shaving knuckles for justice. Everyone's been busy living in their private hells. Yeah, that's for sure. Greg Vara, may I suggest mutual aid? Red Cross, not so much. I've been a Red Cross volunteer for a long time. I know there's some criticisms of them, and some of them are fair in terms of how the upper management has managed their money. And I just have been on the ground helping people as a volunteer. I've been in shelters. I've gone and responded to single family fires and seen direct action helping people. And so you can have what criticisms you want of them, that's fine, but I've been on the ground and helped them out. So I'm going to continue to do that. But thank you. Jason R., Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. If the bad apple excuse is good for cops, then the same excuse works for protesters. Looters are just bad apples. Pot, meat, kettle. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly.
No kidding.
Just a few bad apples. All the protesters are good, just a few bad apples. Yeah.
Yeah, such a blatant double standard.
Such a blatant double standard. Animax, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice, and qualified immunity. Boom, you got it. Nazar G, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Even if we buy the underlying health conditions killed him, the correct conclusion is he was tortured to death. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. And the health condition thing is a bunch of BS.
Oh, God. Yeah, because a healthy person would be fine. If Ron, you're a healthy guy, so if I put my knee on your neck for 8 minutes, you'll be fine, right?
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be great. And
if you're not, maybe you shouldn't have resisted.
Right. It was my bad.
Yeah, it's such bullshit. Mad Ass, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. I may have joined late, but have you guys talked about the defenseless female shop owners physically assaulted by vandals? CNN doesn't cover that. No, I haven't seen anything about that.
Familiar.
And if that's happened, it's awful, and I'm sorry. And again, I don't condone the looting and stuff. I don't condone it. I understand it. And if we don't deal with all of this, the problems connected with this, not just racism, not just police brutality, the economic, the educational reasons, this is what's going to happen. This is going to get worse if we don't address this shit. You know, you have large portions of the population that get a subpar education at best, no jobs, no health care, no education. Then you infuse drugs, and I've talked about how the private prison industry got a bunch of record executives in the late 80s to push gangster rap because they knew it would be good for the private prison industry. So there's all these things working against it that are creating this mess. For-profit prisons, for-profit hospitals, a country that indiscriminately kills poor people all over the world.
Because all they care about is profit. I'm noticing a trend. There's a trend here.
Is there one villain? Shall I say capitalism?
Yeah, and it's been the same villain all throughout history too.
Yep.
Every time it's tried, does the exact same thing.
Does the same thing.
Does the same freaking thing.
Every time.
Is there a way we can do it ethically? No.
No.
Because we've tried. No.
No.
We can't.
No. Tell me one time socialism worked. Well, all those times it was working before the American empire or capitalists came in and ruined it or unstaged a coup. You know? Kind of feels like someone's staging a coup here. If Hillary Clinton magically appears as the president in some capacity, then I'm going to be like, oh, this was Soros and Clinton to get her. This is what the CIA does. They destabilize a country and a government because we're intentionally being destabilized and fighting with each other and rioting. This seems very organized to me.
You think there's going to be like just this big marching of pink hats, like we declare the interim president.
Something.
And she just rises from the ashes.
If they get to the White House and Trump abdicates power, does something that they can seize power, Trump's out of control. Oh, and suddenly Joe Biden's dementia is going to be really obvious. And then someone, it won't be Hillary. Somebody else will suggest, why doesn't Hillary? And this fake groundswell on the internet, let's make Hillary president. And she'll go, okay, I guess.
I guess I have to.
Oh, George.
Was there anyone else in the primary that a bunch of people got behind? I don't see anyone. I guess it has to be me.
Well, I mean, since George Soros funded all of the looters, funded the people to throw rocks into buildings, that's what started to come out. I don't know. I'm just seeing this on the internet, but I'm like, if these dots all start to connect, then that's what's shaking out, man.
Hey, man, you never know. I mean, I said this, the only way, and I still think it's unlikely Biden's going to win, but the only way it's possible is if Donald Trump somehow beats himself. And, well, this could be that window of opportunity where Donald Trump is going to beat Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it could be one of those things where like, Joe, Hillary, jump on in.
Something. She'll slide in there at the second, and as soon as his hand comes off the Bible, he's gonna have an aneurysm. He's gonna hang himself with a paper T-shirt, and that's what's gonna happen.
With an ice cream cone in his hand.
Redneckonomics, what's up, Stevie? Haven't seen you forever. How you doing? Should we fight for the policies we need, like healthcare workers' Bill of Rights, like the protesters are fighting for George Floyd, and ending police brutality? Because it seems effective for change, but I don't know what it's like living out there.
People are making those demands in conjunction with this.
Yes.
Like people are connecting the dots now more than ever before, and that's one of the few things that's really inspiring. You know,
that's the key here. And everybody go watch Redneckonomics. She reports in West Virginia, and that's the key here, Stevie, is to show how all this stuff is, like we've been talking about. Show how it's connected. Show how, look, and you live in West Virginia, which is largely white. So if some white people are like, why are they burning stuff? Say it's all connected. You know how you need health care and good jobs? If we got all of that, that would help a lot of this. Because that's part of it. This is, look, there was, and I'm going to do a video on this, but I saw this little mini documentary. There was a bunch of successful black entrepreneurs and black-owned businesses in like 1913 that the government came in and said, nope, and shut it down. So this has been like, this is all of this stuff is connected. And that's how we got to count. And that's why, like, ending police brutality, absolutely. What is police brutality about? It's also about the private prison industry. It's also about the fake war on drugs, right? It's also about, and this justifies in the same way, look at it, it's the exact same way of the federal government needing boogeymen out there, right? ISIS, Russia, to justify these military budgets. Local governments need, bad criminal blacks, to justify their budget. Even in parts of the country that are largely white that have a huge opioid epidemic, right? There's crime, there's gangs, there's all that stuff. Even in those white communities, it's the same thing. Are we going to fix the opioid epidemic? Are we going to give people jobs and clean water and housing and education? No, we're just going to double down on prisons and cops. So it is all connected. Imagine if everybody had free healthcare, free college, good union paying jobs, all this stuff. How much, even if the government would have just come in and said when the pandemic hit, okay, Medicare for all, student debt forgiveness, $3,000 a month UBI, and nobody has to pay rent for 3 to 6 months. Would there still be Black Lives Matter protesting after George Floyd was killed? Absolutely, absolutely. Would some of them turn into, more aggressive? Yeah, probably, because that issue's been around for 400 years, right? But we got to address all this stuff. We got to address all this stuff. Because 28 years ago, Rodney King happened 28 years ago. I remember those riots. You know what they were saying? They were making the same issues. We need jobs. We need better schools. What if we would have done that 28 years ago? We would not be here. What if we did systematic police reform, just everything, got rid of the private prisons 28 years ago? We wouldn't be here today. So let's make those steps today so that we're not here 28 years from now. Because 28 years from now, if we keep going, America's going to be over. It's done.
Oh, yeah. We can't stay on this course for another 28 years.
Yeah.
We just can't.
No. So these things are all connected. And thank you for supporting the show, Redneckonomics. Good to see you. Karen Webster, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Cover pregnant women shot in belly with rubber bullet. Jesus. Cops, I can't keep track. I've seen so many videos of cops, just unbelievable.
Up in Seattle, I remember during Occupy, Seattle PD made the news because they maced an 80-year-old woman, and they decided to run the gamut this time. This time they maced a 9-year-old girl. So I think at this pace in 2022, they're going to mace a basket of kittens. So,
yeah. Oh God, There's this like couple on their front porch, and the Minnesota police are going, get back in your, and they're just sitting on their front porch to get in your homes, and they're just standing there on their front porch.
Shooting at people on their porches.
And they go, light them up, boom. Unreal. Kyle Gibson, shave your knuckles for justice. Ron, how dare you insult Cheesecake Factory?
Yeah, hey man, to each their own. I'm just saying I like to see a variety of locally owned eateries as well. And if you want to go to the chains, do your thing. No problem with that. But I just don't want to see a monogamous option. I've seen Demolition Man. I don't want to live in that movie. I made a movie reference program. I did that myself.
Ron, that was amazing, and I was like, oh, cool. Well, I didn't think that's a pretty impressive movie reference for you to make. Demolition Man,
where they made every restaurant became Taco Bell.
Yep. Because Taco Bell was a big advertiser in the movie, but and Taco Bell didn't care that it was social commentary on the future of restaurants. Taco Bell was just like, get the brand out there.
Just get the brand in there.
Biking Cat Graham, be cool. Hope to see you live one day. Thank you so much. I will. Karen Webster, I had to come here to hear some peace. Thank you, Ron. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Be peaceful, to be constructive in this. We're both frustrated. We're all frustrated. Seattle cops are exceptionally brutal. Cat B, thanks for sharing that. Kyle Gibson, what's up, Kyle? Teachers are trusted but held accountable when they make mistakes. Maybe we should rethink police training and actions in a similar way. Yeah, and the one thing I keep hearing, like Killer Mike talked about this. They did this in Atlanta, and it's not the cure-all, but civilian oversight committees of cops. We got to have that. Let's just start there.
That's one of the steps. That's one of the steps.
We just form that today. That would be like, okay, now we have civilian oversight. And I don't want to hear, like, because cops just automatically stick together, protect each other, back the blue, and we don't get the truth. And it starts on the street level, and it goes all the way up through command. They just do that. Unless you make it so uncomfortable for command that they might lose their job because some of those jobs are political, then they'll fry the street cop. But for the most part, everybody lines up and protects, and they're not protecting and serving us.
Well, not just civilian oversight, but civilians need to have a say in how they are policed.
Yes.
Where it's like, okay, this is what we want to see. This is how we want to see the streets maintained. This is how we want traffic violations to be treated. And again, you know, we got to just start from point A. We start all over again. First two things that happen, demilitarization and civilian oversight. And then we take it from there.
Yep.
And we start figuring out how to conduct law and order in an actual constructive way.
Yep. Farkas Garvey, I heard an ABC 7 reporter call the looters heartless, kind of harsh. Also, sneakers is now a dog whistle for shoes that black people like to wear. Oh, I know. They stole sneakers. Like, oh, what a crime. Give me a break. And local news, the media is just for, like, basically older white people or something. Like, it's Jenna Tornova, watch the link I left under your live stream tweet. I was looking for that, Jenna, but I could not find it. Let me look at that one more time. Jenna Tornova. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Is this the one, Jenna? Is this the police commissioners? Is this the police commissioners? Oh, this is great. Oh, fuck. Is this the one? If this is the police commissioner thing, then yes, Jenna. We need to play this real quick. We need to play this. This, Ron, you're going to love this. This was a Los Angeles Peace Commission meeting. It was a Zoom meeting. And a LAPD commission and chief of police meeting.
You're on?
Hello. Hi. How's everyone? I just want to say thank you all for having this meeting and listening to me. I just want to say that you do understand that your information is public online and people can find you to just sit up and protest outside your home. Does that make you wake up yet? Does that make you afraid yet? Because if not, we can find a way to make you afraid and be just like everybody else. Understand that You are a public servant, and public servants can be run out of town, just like a dog that you are. Don't worry, they can find you. And if by the end of the week you are not out of the office, people will find you and post your information online. Good day.
Whoa.
Thank you.
So
And
that
caller M as in Mary.
Wow.
wait, so someone
And
hijacked their
there you
Zoom
go.
meeting.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Hi. So, no, I only have a minute. I won't repeat what everybody else has been saying. And to be honest with you, looking at your faces, I feel very sorry for everything that you're going to have to.
Wow. That was pretty amazing. That guy just said, we can find your information on the internet and start protesting your houses. And you know what? There you go. Because that's like, you know, I personally would rather see that than looting. That's just me personally. But you got to go to the people that are in power and pressure them.
Yeah.
And
Wow. Hey, man. I mean, I don't know who that was, but I mean, you know, Anonymous, they keep saying, they're like, we're back. They've been making videos. They're
Mhm.
like, we are back and we are mad. And this has got to stop.
yeah. No, it's like that kind of stuff needs to, those are all the regular people calling in to be mad. Okay, Jenna, I'm trying to find the link. I can't find it. Is it the one where the one guy, let's see, hold on. Somebody asked, this is a Pearl Jam shirt I got when I saw them in concert in like 2013 at the old LA Sports Arena, which got leveled. It needed to be, and now the LAFC arena of stadium is there. Let's see. Sorry, Jenna, I can't find the link. Those are the other people. So a lot of people on the stream. Hit the like button, everybody. That was the link. Oh, that was the link. Okay. Cool. That's awesome. Oh man. It's so you gotta watch, because I heard another guy call in and just say, I think you guys are complete failures and you're idiots and I'll see you in hell. Like, it was just like they just took shit all day, and they should. And they should. We got shot with rubber bullets, you know, unbelievable. All right. Twitter search. Hold on a sec. Let me show this. Well, here's the Australian journalist. It's getting late. I know it's getting late. We'll wrap this up here. Yeah, it's getting late. All right. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Sparky, shave your knuckles for justice. No permanent physical damage with tar and feathers. It's excellent behavior modification for the elite and their political pawns. Sparky, I know you're a big tar and feather proponent. Thank you so much. Okay. Cat B, shave your knuckles for justice. Cat, what's up? Kitty Cat, how you doing? Please check out the Citizens Comment Magical Twitter search. I yield my time. More got roasted. Okay, I'll look for that right now. Thank you, Cat. I will get that right now because that sounds like it's going to be fun. Here we go.
Well, I won't be happy until he's fired.
Yeah, he needs to be fired.
He needs to get fired. Like, he needs to be fired. And I plan to call Garcetti's office every day until he is fired.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's let's see. Oh, this is it. This is it. I found it. I found
discussing.
it. Hold on. Hold on. Oh man. All right, this is the one.
And peaceful protesters on the street. I had 2 friends go to the protest in Beverly Hills a couple of days ago, and the protest was peaceful until the police showed up with their excessive violent force, shooting rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. Is this what you think of protecting and serving? Because I think it's bullshit. Fuck you, Michael Moore. I refuse to call you an officer or a chief because you don't deserve those titles. You are a disgrace. Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
Thank you, Juan Ramirez.
How can I make that my ringtone?
Black Lives Matter, defund the police. I find it disgusting that the LAPD is slaughtering peaceful protesters on the street. I had 2 friends go to the protest in Beverly Hills a couple of days ago, and the protest was peaceful until the police showed up with their excessive violent force, shooting rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. Is this what you think of protecting and serving? Because I think it's bullshit. Fuck you, Michael Moore. I refuse to call you an officer or a chief because you don't deserve those titles. You are a disgrace. Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
Thank you, Juan Ramirez. Yes.
Black Lives Matter, defund the police. I find it disgusting that the LAPD is slaughtering peaceful protesters on the street. I had 2 friends go to the protest in Beverly Hills a couple of days ago, and the protest was peaceful until the police showed up with their excessive violent force, shooting rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. Is this what you think of protecting and serving? Because I think it's bullshit. Fuck you, Michael Moore. I refuse to call you an officer or a chief because you don't deserve those titles. You are a disgrace. Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time.
Yield my time.
Have a nice day.
I love the respectful ending is the best. Oh God, that was just like, and you know what? Good. And
I yield my time.
I yield my time. He ends it very in line. I yield my time. Oh, so great. But no, this is the reality, dude. Like this is the thing I'm talking about because it sounds like a white dude, and this is why it's so important for white people to like not. We have to get involved, and why?
So was this like an open Zoom, like a virtual Zoom meeting? That
yeah, I guess it was a virtual Zoom meeting with the citizens, and they had to hear that. And you know what? This is good.
Good.
And it's like you need to hear this. And
good. Let them hear more of that, and then fire him.
Then fire him.
Let them hear that nonstop, and then just fire him. And I know he's gonna get some ridiculous pension or some bullshit like that, but still, just get him out of there. Not even just because of the completely tone deaf thing he said, but how horrible of a job he's been doing.
Horrible.
He should never be able to get a job in law enforcement ever again.
Yeah. And this is also the wake up call that white America really needed. Because again, most of these people protesting, maybe they went to a women's march or maybe they went to a climate rally, but they've never been shot at with rubber bullets. That was the first time they saw the brutality of the police department. That was the first time white people got to see how black people live in black neighborhoods all the time. And I'm not happy anybody got shot. Friends of ours got shot with rubber bullets, and I don't want that. And I almost got run over by a cop car, but people needed to, because now white people can like, we've been sort of on the sidelines a little too much for this, and now we got to get involved. And this is what it's going to take, is going, white people feel very empowered to go, fuck you, chief of police. And I want you
man, I'm thinking like, I got to up my game. Like I got to call Garcetti's office. I got to up my game here.
Yeah.
I got to start making my demands.
I want you fired. I want civilian oversight so that these roided out meatheads who are at Santa Monica Police Department, yeah, they've got a female chief of police, but so what? That's great identity politics window dressing, female mayor in Santa Monica. And same thing, Garcetti, he's this fluffy liberal. It's his police department, man. So,
he's a coward.
He's a coward.
He is a blank suit coward. The fact that he just licked that police chief's boot. Yeah. And then he lectures the city. He just lectures the city. That's all he does on his Twitter. He just lectures the citizens. Like, I need the National Guard to keep order. Yeah, get the National Guard to keep order of your police force.
Yeah. if the National Guard comes in to take over the job because your police are inept because they're violent and brutal, and the National Guard is just a bunch of reservists who like have regular jobs who are just like, I don't want to. I'm a citizen.
Yeah, he is useless.
He's useless,
and
man.
I hope he's out of office as soon as possible. I mean, I know we have the mayoral election in Pasadena is in November. I don't know if it'll be the same for LA or if they're on a different cycle, but you know, in Pasadena we're probably going to get a new mayor, but I mean the other guy's not much better than the current guy. But
all of us need to be, whether you want to use swear words or not, but be that like, get out, you're awful, and then say really harsh, stern, you're brutal, you're awful, and then always end with I yield my time. Just make that, just, you need to be gone, you need to get waterboarded at Guantanamo. I yield my time. Like, whatever it is.
It wasn't just suck my dick. He was like, you need to choke on it too.
Choke on it.
Then he yielded his time. He's like, suck my dick and choke on it. Did you choke? Are you choked? I yield my time. He understands he's got to choke on it.
You can't just suck it. You got to choke on it. You can't just
suck it. You got to choke on it. You really got to.
I'm gonna remember anytime I go on a rant on this show to end with I yield my time.
I yield my time.
I yield my time. We got to round up Jolene Maxwell, that pedophile, and round her up. I yield my time. All right. Sam Dean, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Ron is funnier than you. Please discuss. Just trying to start division in an otherwise perfectly fine relationship. Oh, look at you. What are you, an undercover cop, Sam? You're going to throw bricks in my window and say Ron did it?
That'd be quite, man. Wouldn't that be funny if that was Sam's story? We met him in person.
Wait a minute now. So you and I have had a little tension over Toastergate.
That's true.
But Sam lives in Australia.
Sam does live in Australia.
Maybe he set this up, dude. Oh.
He might have planted that toaster.
He planted that toaster.
Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, like, yeah, that adds up.
Wait a minute.
He switched out the toasters.
He did.
Oh, we got to the bottom of it. I told you I was innocent.
Ron, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I accused you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I was eating an orange and I was a little distracted. So, you know, there was still that plausibility. But I knew most of the time toast takes about 30 or 40 minutes. So Sam Dean was just messing with us.
He switched the low setting. He made it high.
That's right. That's
Sam,
exactly what he did.
You just blew it. You just outed yourself, friend. Sam Dean was the second toaster behind the grassy knoll. That's who Sam Dean was.
Detective Dean, apparently.
Sam Dean. Oh man, he took down Toaster 7.
Yep. Sam Dean can melt toaster beams. That's.
Oh, Sam, your jackassery has caused so many laughters on this show. God bless you, sir. Brian S., Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. I like Ron's cat. Thank you, Brian. We all do. Lucy's fantastic.
Yeah, she knows feeding time is soon, so she's been running around.
Oh, shit. I'm keeping Ron
a lot of
away
attention, that cat. It's her birthday month, too.
Right.
I don't know what day it is exactly. She was a stray, so she just gets the whole month.
She gets the whole month. Of course she does. Of course she does. I have a lot of super chats.
Very happy cat.
I have a lot of super chats to read through, Ron. If you need to go, we can let you go, buddy. I don't want to keep you up.
All right, man. I'll hop off.
All right.
Good night, everybody, and thank you, and stay safe out there. And check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/Ron Placone, and follow me on Twitter @Ron Placone. And we'll see you at a Zoom show soon. And when we can be back out on the road, we'll be there too. Who knows when that'll be, but peace.
Ron yields his time.
I yield my time.
All right, buddy. I'll see you too.
Peace.
Oh, shit. Oh, Sam. God bless you, buddy. Yeah, it's getting late. I know it's late. Well, in Australia, you're in the afternoon or whatever, but where were we? Okay, let me get, sorry, this thing jumps around. Oh, God. Sparky, shaving knuckles for justice. Funny how the riots instantly cured COVID-19. Well, myself, I wore a mask most of the time, but when I would have to like do my recording, I would usually like get a step away from people and pull my mask down. I take all my vitamins. I go out in the sun. I hope everyone doesn't get it. So Costello, keep punching up with bare knuckles. Boom, you got it, Costello. I will. Sparky, unfortunately, good, bad, or indifferent, being brought up on bogus charges is the only way to really learn the justice system. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because most, I've talked about this, most white people's interaction with the cops is like, maybe you call the cop, there's some crime, the cops show up, you go, okay, fine, like whatever, it's, you know, but when you see them really get corrupt and not do their jobs, it's like, whew. And if you live in a black community, Latino, Native American, you see them do it time and time and time and time again. Sparky, shaving knuckles for justice. Graham, the next time you and Amy have pillow talk, ask her why she let that dirty murderous cop off the hook. Yeah, Klobuchar and I are dating. Yeah, again, going back to how we can't trust the Democratic Party. Amy Klobuchar, the guy that killed George Floyd, she could have taken him off the force. She could have prevented this. She could have prevented this, but she didn't. Don't trust the Democrats. Hey, Mares, what's up, hey, Mares? How you doing, sweetie? I never realized I had PTSD since no DAPL until the tear gas was thrown at us in Des Moines. Mind F on top of mind. Oh, mindfuck on top of mindfuck. Yeah, 2016, 2020, BS primaries that aren't contested no matter what we uncover. Bernie, pandemic, murder. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if you were up at DAPL, and good for you for going up there, and you got tear gassed or you had violence thrown at you, that's a traumatizing event. I mean, PTSD, obviously, you know, it can happen, but like, you don't have to like be a combat vet to get it. If you were ever assaulted, physically, sexually assaulted, a car accident, if you were ever mugged, if you had tear gas shot at you, had cops come at you, it's gnarly, man. So don't be afraid to get help. Humanity, shave your knuckles for justice. Marry me, Grandma. All right. You got it. You live in Australia? Let's do it. Are you by the beach? I'll get married and move to Australia. The minute they open Australia up for tourists, I'll like, oh. Harry C. Smith. What's up, Harry? Shave your knuckles for justice. Why don't politicians have to retire at 65 like everyone else? Isn't Pelosi like, yeah, I know. Derek, shave your knuckles for justice. I also sent the link in reply to your tweet announcing this live chat. Thank you. Oh, Derek, yes, you showed me the DC cop. I did see that in Twitter. I did see that. I will do a video on that. I'm getting tired now. I'm starting to lose my voice. It's been over 2 hours, but I will cover that. Thank you, Derek. I did see it in Twitter. Thank you. John Coyne, Shaver Knuckles for Justice. See you still broadcasting from the Kremlin. Yes, John. Spatsiva Bolshoi. Humanity, not kidding. Spare room if you want to move to Oz. Oh, for real? Sure. Hit me up on Instagram at Graham Elwood. Sam Dean. Marlon Shatner's Ebony. Ron is Ivory. No, Ron had to go. We're not. No. We already talked to Redneck Economics. Stevie, thanks for being on the show. Stevie, reach out if you. I'd love to have you Skype in. It'd be great to talk to you and see how you're doing. And you can tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods. Sharon Boyer, shave your knuckles for Justice Sharon. Aloha from Hawaii. We are feeding people, having some marches, but we still have aloha for each other. Oh, that's beautiful. I love Hawaii. Oh man. Oh man. That's another place I could live. Karaoke Closet, shave your knuckles for justice. Steve Mnuchin, America's all-time looting champion. Exactly. I wish they just, when they did the split screen with the looters, what if they just did that with like Steve Mnuchin in the split screen? Just a constant, oh, there's Steve Mnuchin looting trillions of dollars. Oh, this guy got billions. And there's Goldman Sachs, and there's the Lehman Brothers, and there's all these clowns. That's what they should be showing. Mberg33, Twitter has Gov calling for an intervention. Wow. U.S. interim government calling for an intervention. Wow. Right on. Sam Dean. Okay, simple joke. Let's try to calm things down, people. Why did the fart cross the road? Because Graham farted while he was crossing the road. That's not really that great. It's like a joke. There's no like play on words. You know what I mean? But thanks, Sam. Oh, yeah. Come on, buddy. Fart joke. Let's take up the game. Evie. Shaving Knuckles for Justice. There is an Indigenous/Black Lives Matters protest in Melbourne this weekend. Police are not planning to arrest any protesters. Share. Awesome. Yes. In Melbourne. Indigenous Black Lives Matter protest in Melbourne this weekend. Nice. Nice. Go to that if you're in Melbourne. Awesome. Awesome. Humanity. Americans are going to need EMDR whole scale. Well, that's the other thing too, man. All these people that just got traumatized this last 5 days, that guy, you know, suck my dick and choke on it, I yield my time. Him and his friends got traumatized. They saw it. They got anyone who got shot with rubber bullets or tear gassed just in those last 5 days. America's like a bunch of addicts, man. And addicts, the only way you get sober, you got to hit rock bottom. And America's hitting rock bottom. But there's always a lower bottom. There's always a lower bottom. So if America doesn't want to get its shit together. Jane Sheed, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. What are the chances of us getting bombed for using chemical weapons on its citizens? Exactly. We're using banned chemical weapons here. Someone going to bomb us? Oh, Adam Gullick. If rioting is going to happen, it should be the downtowns where the big corporations are. Yeah. Yeah. Go do that. Mike 389 1973, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. My town approved a protest schedule for the Saturday. Didn't know we needed permission. I felt like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I know. Oh, did we get approval? Thank you. Can we go on strike or no? Emberg 33. I have a Rabbit account. I can host the documentary for you both. Hit me up and I will set it up so you don't have to get an account. I'm glad to help. Okay, cool. Talking about the Epstein thing. You got it. I will, Mark. John Chow. Bad apples is not an excuse. They spoiled a bunch. Yeah, you got that right. Snork Y2K. Putter down, part shortage, 3 weeks to fix. Pewter down, part shortage, 3 weeks to fix. Oh, no worries, Snork. No worries, brother. Good to have you on the show. Always good to see you. Karen Webster, thanks for the nightmare image, Graham. HRC equals vomit. Sorry. Hillary becoming president is like a Saw film. Greg Vara, Crystal Ball, and David Dole are buckling under pressure of Trump's threats and are now considering voting for Biden. Oh, God. Oof. Miss Hendricks, Biden should be taking a knee on the front, but I fear he couldn't get back up again. Yeah. Or, you know, he might shit his pants. Andrew Cooper, Shaving Knuckles of Justice. Graham, have you seen Biden's speech in Philly? It felt like I witnessed a miracle. For 25 minutes, Biden read off a teleprompter and no gaps occurred. I did not see that. Karen Webster, what's up? I'm going to have to change my name. How about Bob? Yeah, because you don't want to be called Karen. Bob Webster. I'm sorry about that, Karen. Humanity. Matthew Wood Jr., civilian-led policing. Wood was on Jimmy Doran Rogan in 2014. Police whistleblower author. Invite him on. Okay. Jenna Chornover. No, those are all regular people calling in to be mad. Right on. Thanks for sending that, Jenna. Joker Max. Shave it. Black Hat. Ron. Art. Boom. KO Art. Thank you. Anthony Detroit. Hold on. Just jumped around. Detroit subverted by undos and off-duties, detoured. Yep. Undercovers and off-duty cops. Yep. I've heard that all over the country. Undercover, off-duty cops coming in, subverting things. Sparky, great t-shirt idea. Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. That was so brilliant. I yield my time. Drew Wintermeyer, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. I yield my time. F you the best. Oh, Scum 777. Thank you. Matt S. Really strong show today. Graham Rock on. Thank you, Matt. Isn't it great having Ron on the show? I'm all alone, and going out to protest is cool. But, you know, like I was talking about, PTSD is traumatizing, and then some guy tried to steal my bike. And then I come back and I'm just like, I don't want to be alone in my apartment again. And like some nights I stay up late because I'm like, I don't want to go to sleep because I'm going to wake up alone in my apartment in the middle of this pandemic. And now I'm in fucking martial law. And I was just like, if I have Ron on the show, we'll just laugh our asses off. We'll make great points and have serious talks. I just love having Ron on the show. And I miss doing the show in that cool studio in Burbank, but this is the next best thing. So it's just, I just great. I miss talking to these guys. So it's great having them on the show. I'm going to try to have more guests on now that I got all the fucking tech shit fixed, right? Isn't the studio nice and slick? Thanks for watching and supporting what I do. Harry C. Smith, 15 black people blown away, minor incident. A white guy's broken ankle. That's a national tragedy. And second day is my 40th birthday. 30th. Hey, what's up? And today is my 40th birthday. Right on. Give Harry Smith a happy birthday shout out, everybody. Show Harry some love, man. Some B-Day love. Good to have you. Humanity. He said, yes, let's make Gotham Australian again. Let's do it. Let's do it. Hit the like button, citizens of Gotham. 518 likes. Right on. We had over 500-600 people watching today. It's been great, man. Live streaming has been fantastic. Backyard politics. What's up? Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Now, Marlon Shatner, give it up, baby. Baby, give it up. I yield my time. Oh, remember singing that song? Hey, 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 goodbye. That used to be the song of the Chicago White Sox. Then get him back. It'll be funny. Be funny. Yeah. All right, let's sing some songs, everybody. We'll make Gotham Australian again. I'll watch it. I'll start watching Australian rules football. I'll do it. Y'all got soccer and basketball down there. Those are my favorite sports. I guess I'll figure out cricket because I love baseball. So I don't know. I'll do it. As long as I can live in a city where there's like yoga and surfing and a cool vibe, then I'm down, baby. I just don't want any guns. I don't want any guns. Whew. All right. Let's find a song to sing. I didn't sing one last night because things were pretty intense, but let's sing a song. And I usually post like 2-3 videos a day and live stream, and it's just been a lot of emotional stuff, so I haven't been able to. But I've got a bunch of clips stacked up that I'll be dropping now. This was helpful for me. So hey, 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 goodbye. Goodbye. Karaoke. Here it is, kids. Oh, this is fun. Let's all sing it out, right? Awesome. That was fun. Oh my God. Fun live stream. I needed it. I was bummed out today and I needed it. I needed to joke with Ron and laugh with you and talk about serious stuff as well. I like doing all of that. So I love doing the show. Y'all make me feel a little bit better about the world. And Corn Jeebus, thank you so much. How about Shatner doing a... You're bugging awesome backyard politics. Check her show out too, man. I'm like flattered that I've inspired some of you to start a show, start your own YouTube shows. I really am. It's really cool. Jimmy inspired me, so you're all inspiring me. But so let's get that ready to go. I will marry if you put Marlon Shatner karaoke singer on your visa application. That's going to be a real job to come to Australia for. I'm here as a Marlon Shatner karaoke singer. I'm sure there's a demand for that, and really only an American can do it. Oh, thanks, Annabelle. You're sweet. Remember now, guys. Shave your knuckles for justice. You're all making Gotham great again. Stay safe. Try to find the joy and the light and the peace in this. It's hard when people are yelling at you and getting in your face and wanting to fight you, and cops are being rude. They want us angry and fighting. We got a lot to be angry about. We have righteous indignation. We have the right to protest peacefully. We have the right to do these things. So we have to fight to make this world better. And thank you. So thank you all for making me feel better today. You're all, this is not easy sometimes where I'm at. I'm literally in martial law, just fucking soldiers right over there. It's surreal. Yes, come to Australia, Graham. We would awesome to see you live here. Yeah, I'd love to live there, man. So let me know what I got to do. What are the laws? How do I do it? And remember, you're all making Gotham great again. Shave your knuckles for justice. And
Yes.
Black Lives Matter, defund the police. I find it disgusting that the LAPD is slaughtering peaceful protesters on the street. I had two friends go to the protest in Beverly Hills a couple days ago, and the protest was peaceful until the police showed up with their excessive violent force, shooting rubber bullets and throwing tear gas. Is this what you think of protecting and serving? Because I think it's bullshit. Fuck you, Michael Moore. I refuse to call you an officer or a chief because you don't deserve those titles. You are a disgrace. Suck my dick and choke on it. I yield my time. Fuck you.
Thank you, Juan Ramirez. Yes.
Black Lives Matter, defund the police. I find it disgusting that the LAPD is slaughtering peaceful protesters on the street. I had two friends go to the